We are women in film and video. We are the resource, the advocate, the support, and the connection. A community of media pros here to tell the truth, share the wealth, and spread the knowledge. Our members can and do meet all your film and video needs. Your one-stop shop from concept to completion, script to screen, narrative to documentary. We are an organization for all genders, genres, and experience levels, dedicated to the advancement of women in film and video through professional development and networking events. We are the nurturers, the writers, the producers, the editors, and the directors, the multitaskers, the taskmasters, the gaffers, the loggers, the dubbers, the bloggers, the know-it-all, the chief of staff, the belle of the ball. We are women in film and video.
What I actually love about women in film and video is the camaraderie. I have met so many talented, creative people through WIFV. I had a film and video background. I was working in educational media, but I really wanted to get into more narrative feature films and short films. And I met my tribe here. That's where I met everybody that I've worked on over I think I've worked on over a dozen short films, and I've worked on 2 features in the last couple years, and it's all because of WIFV. It's just been an amazing place to be.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second annual Telethon from Women in Film and Video. I'm Connie St. John, yes, executive producer of the Telethon, but more importantly, a former president of WIFV and a loyal member of Women in Film and Video. I'm so happy to be a member. I'm also a writer-director, and this is such a wonderful community. Today, we are streaming live on all of the WIFV social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And we'll be here until 4 p.m. Eastern. So reach out to your friends and your colleagues and tell them to tune in and make a donation. Tomorrow, March 8th, is International Women's Day. So today is a perfect day to focus on women in film. Today, we're showcasing 14 short films or trailers from our talented members, all while raising money for our wonderful organization. Most of our filmmakers are here with us as well, and we'll be doing some brief interviews with them after their films. We had over 30 submissions this year. So following the telethon, you'll be able to see these selected films on our YouTube channel, as well as some of our runners up. So make sure you sign up to watch our YouTube channel regularly, subscribe to it so you can support our amazing filmmakers. Now, I am going to introduce our first 2 co-hosts, who are 2 amazing board members, Shonda Patterson-Strawn and Allison Bauer, and they will take it away by introducing our films and letting you know about our telethon goals this year.
Thank you so much, Connie.
Thank you.
This is going to be a great day. I can feel it. Our telethon goal is $6,500 to support our general fund, which supports programs throughout the year. I am chair of the programming committee, and I know how important it is that we have relevant programs for those of you who want to learn more about media making.
And I'm Shonda Patterson-Strawn, a really proud member of the Board of Women in Film and Video. I'm thrilled to help host today's telethon, celebrating the incredible creativity of our filmmaking community while supporting WIFV's mission. So I hope that you will use a QR code or go to our website, which is wif.org/donate to make your gift.
Now I'm ready to start watching some films.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it.
So the first film, we've chunked all of our films into categories, thematic categories. Some of them are serious and some of them are a little tongue-in-cheek. So it's going to be your job today to figure out which is which. So the first one, the theme is things flying around. And I just hope they're not flying around my house. You,
Yeah,
Shonda?
I don't know. With spring coming, all kinds of things are flying about, and that actually makes me think of the first film that we have the pleasure of sharing with you. It is the trailer for a feature film. It's called 500 Fireflies. It was filmed in the Shenandoah Valley in 2021, and it's being released in 2026. Here's just a little bit of background on it. A dad brings his daughter home to the rural town where he grew up, hoping for a fresh start. Let's take a look.
Nice.
This place is so great. Why have you never come back?
Oh, you back from the big city?
Yeah, for the summer.
Oh, it's good to have you back, kiddo.
You catch me 500 of those fireflies, and I give you my word, you and Junie will be provided for.
Why?
The town tells you how much you're worth.
I trusted that my dad didn't uproot my life and move me to the middle of nowhere so that I could spend an entire summer alone.
You're not staying. Spend all the time you want away from the city. I guarantee your problems won't fix themselves.
Just because life isn't perfect, it don't mean you leave. You create a place you want to stay.
Oh! All right!
That's what I see now when I look at these houses and shops. I see how much I got loved here.
You know why they light up?
Maybe to find each other in the dark.
Yeah. That sounds right.
It looks wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful. I look forward to when that comes out. So our next video to fit in with the category of things flying around is a short film called Bats in the Belfry. And our filmmaker is Sherry Raddick Stroud. And I'll just give you the description of it. In one whimsical evening, Nona, a sharp-witted Italian grandmother, navigates family chaos, confronts an unexpected visit from a diavolo, and subtly orchestrates a romantic spark between her granddaughter and a charming stranger, all under the roof of her cozy, slightly chaotic home. This one sounds a little silly. Let's see.
I think it's going to be fun.
And welcome back to Murder Down the Street. On last week's episode, Mildred walked into the living room to find Dan standing over a dead body.
Oh my God, Dan, what have you done?
Mildred, get out of here. You are not involved in this. This guy, he had it coming.
Hey, look out behind you!
Ow! Help! No! Stop! Ow! Help! Help! No!
Oh my God, not another murder in the neighborhood. Who are you? How did you get in here? No, don't come any closer. I know karate, I'm warning you!
My hair! Oh my God! Okay. Teresa.
Hi, it's Teresa. You know what to do. Leave me a message.
Teresa! Teresa, where are you, huh? Answer the phone! Oh, there's a Diablo's in my house. What am I gonna do, huh? Forget about it. Okay. I'm going to go take care of it.
go. You don't need to make this more difficult.
I didn't do nothing.
Shoplifting is a really serious offense.
I didn't do nothing.
Oops, excuse me. I don't mean to disturb you. Oh, and I don't mean to entice you wearing my nightie, but just don't look at that. Listen to me. I was watching Murder Down the Street, which is my favorite show.
Oh, I like that one.
Stop.
Okay, so I was watching Murder Down the Street, and it's my favorite show, and this is...
Ma'am, are you okay? What's going on here?
That's a nice necklace. Okay, it's very important. Just don't tell anybody. Listen to me.
Sergeant Molinero.
Madonna mia, I need some help here. Oh,
I
God.
could need some backup out here.
Madonna mia, somebody, I need help.
Go secure your prisoner. I'll try to help Mrs.
Finally,
Capiz.
my friend. You're going to help me, right? Good evening.
Hello, Mrs. Capiz.
Hello.
What can we do for you tonight?
Okay, I was watching Murder Down the Street because it's my favorite show, and then all of a sudden, this Diablo comes swooshing
Help
into
me
my
out
house.
here, Mrs. Capiz. Diablo?
Diablo, the devil.
Oh, the devil is in your house?
Yeah, devil. The devil's in my house.
I don't know, Mrs. Capiz. Maybe you should see Father O'Malley about this one and not us.
No.
The devil is in your house.
Well, what are you, pazzo, eh? It's not a real devil, it's a bat. It's a bat. The bat's in my house. Yeah, it's flying around. You gotta come get it. You gotta come right now. Chop, and run the siren. This is very important.
Officer Bruno, why don't you follow Mrs. Capiz home and do a investigation?
Well, okay, Sergeant, if you say so.
Yeah, I say so. Not again.
No, be careful, okay? You be careful. You're strong. You do fine. You do fine. You have a gun?
Ma! Are you okay? I came from the club as soon as I heard.
Do you know this man?
No. Okay, yes, he's my son-in-law, Mr. Mayonnaise. Doesn't even have a vowel at the end of his name. I mean, look at him.
Teresa called me, so I'm here to help. There's somebody in your house?
Mrs. Capiz says there's a Diablo in here.
Again?
Ma, why didn't you call the exterminator like I told you to?
What? That costs money. So you gotta get in there, you gotta get it. Now hurry up, get in there. Bye. I want you to do with that thing, huh? Play 9 holes?
Ma, this is a tennis racket, not a golf club.
Tennis racket, golf club. We're chasing bats here, not balls.
Ma, you wait here. We're going in.
Oh, God. Go slow. Shut the door. Oh, my God. Yeah.
So, has this happened before?
What? A bat in the house? More times than you want to know. Sometimes I think Ma just does it for attention.
So you've seen them flying around here?
Yeah, once. This one's a sneaky little bugger.
And persistent too!
It's in here! Where are you? Where are you? Come out, you chicken shit! I hate flying things!
What? Flying things?
I hate anything that flies! Birds, chickens, ducks, anything with wings!
And the Sarge sent you here? Does he know about your wing phobia?
I try to hide it, but I think he suspects something.
You think? That's why he sent you here!
What's going on? Nona! Whoa! Oh, Sophia! What's going on? The Diablo is back. Who's in the house? Your Uncle Winston. You should see him. He brings a tennis racket. Oh! Who else is in there? Oh, Sophia. There's a nice young police officer. I think he's about your age. And get this? His last name ends in a vowel. You know what that means, huh?
Oh my God, Nona, how many times do I have to tell you? No matchmaking, please.
Do it anyway. Makes me happy.
I'm gonna go check it out, okay?
Okay. Sophia, be careful, huh? The Diablo!
Uncle Winston! Uncle Winston, it's me, Sophia!
Sophia, that's you! Be careful, the Diablo's back!
Okay, Uncle Winston. I think I can take it from here. Why don't you and,
Oh, this is Officer Bruno.
Hi there. Welcome to the crazy house.
My niece, Sophia.
Why don't you and Officer Bruno go keep Nona company outside?
You don't need our help?
No, thank you. I got this. Bats can sense the air current, and they will follow it out.
Who knew? That was good.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you. I just Googled how to get a bat out of the house after last time.
Winston, so Sophia got it out, huh? Oh, my brilliant granddaughter. Isn't she just so smart, the way she figured out how to get the Diablo out of the house, right? She's smart and she's beautiful.
Nona, basta.
Gotta get back to the station now. Please.
Wait. I want to thank you so much, Officer Bruno, for coming to the rescue. Now, don't be a stranger, okay? You come back anytime. What's your first name?
Francesco.
Francesco Bruno. Frank. That was Nono's name. It's a sign, Sophia. So you hungry, though?
Sophia?
Hey, you want something to eat? What did you say? Have something to eat.
I'm good. Better get back.
You have weekend plans, maybe?
I might drop by.
Oh, fabulous. Terrific, Sophia. Did you hear that? Yeah. Yes, okay. That's good news.
Ma, please. Call the exterminator! Mm-hmm. Oh, and, sorry for the little mess inside.
What mess? Never mind, I'll clean it up. Bye-bye.
Nona, don't you have something else you want to say to Uncle Winston?
No. Okay, thank you for coming by and trying to help. I didn't mean that.
No, why do you have to pick on Uncle Winston? He's just trying to help.
He's too goofy. Ever since he and Teresa got together, he tries too hard to please me. I don't like that.
And that's a bad thing?
Unlike that beautiful Officer Bruno, he doesn't have a vowel at the end of his last name.
Nona, you have got to let this go. He and Aunt Teresa have been married for 35 years, and he makes her happy.
That Officer Bruno, though, he's a nice guy, and he's good-looking, too. He's so easy on the eyes, Sophia.
Nona, you're as subtle as a dump truck. What did I say about matchmaking?
You young people, you and your online profiles and your matchmaker.com websites, whatever it is, how do you make a marriage out of that?
Whoa, who said anything about marriage?
Sophia, I'm getting old. I just want a great grandbaby. Is that too much to ask?
Hey, what do you know about online dating sites anyway?
I know things. Yep, I read the Star Reporter.
Oh, the Star Reporter.
And what are you doing here anyway tonight, huh? Why aren't you out on the town?
First of all, Aunt Teresa called me when she couldn't get a hold of Uncle Winston. Second of all, a night on the town, that's totally overrated. When the right person comes along, Nona, you'll be the first to know. In the meantime, I like my life the way it is. Come on, let's go inside. I'll help you clean up this mess.
I do think it might be Officer Bruno.
Okay.
Think about it.
All right, okay, I will.
Okay, and I like his hair.
He's pretty tall. I promise the mess is not that bad. Okay.
Oh my God! Winston, I'm gonna kill you!
Wow. Those were terrific. Yeah.
Fun.
What a great way to start, huh?
Yep. Good
Yeah.
deal. So things flying in the air wasn't so bad. But
Yeah.
let's take a moment and visit with Sherry Raddick Stroud, who in the credits shows up several times. Hey,
Yeah.
Sherry.
Hi, it's so great to see you all.
Yay. So, Sherry, you are a fellow board member as well, and you will
Yeah,
be co hosting later on. But
I
tell
will.
us at the very beginning of the film, it says some of these events based on some true events.
hmm
Can you talk about the origin of this movie? Sorry.
Can I talk about, well, whether I can or can't, I will for
Yeah.
that. I have a small, actually, my colleague Rich West of West Production Services and I formed a small film company called Wonder Pictures. And at the time, we had run the gamut of the scripts we had in house, and Rich said, let's start looking for some more short films. And I put it out to my network, of which Robin Noonan Price, who was the first video of today, um, she got back to me and she said, Sherry, I've got a script. I wrote it a long time ago. I think it was for a class. And I said, well, come on, send it. We're looking for shorts. And I read it and I loved it. Then I sent it to Rich because he directs and, wanted to make sure if he liked it. And he got back to me and he said, Sherry, call her, see if she'll let us do it. So, I called Robin. She said we could do it. I said, "Where did you get the idea for this, by the way?" She said, "Well, it actually happened. The grandma is my grandma. She used to get bats in the house all the time. There was a line in the script I was thinking of, maybe we ought to cut it, where grandma gets to the police station and says, sorry, I'm in my robe and don't mean to entice you. But then I found out that is exactly what Robin's grandma said to the police officer. I said, well, we got to keep it in. So we had a lot of fun with that. And Robin was on set. We filmed at her house, and she was reliving all of these experiences. It was so much fun watching this being filmed.
Very fun. So I recognize a lot of the names. Were a lot of the people in the crew and the cast WIFV members?
Oh yeah, quite a few. Sandra Brennan, well, she wasn't in the cast, but she was working behind stage. The granddaughter, Sophia, was actually working in the WIF office at the time. She was assistant to Melissa, and we were looking for an ethnic look, and I thought Sophia was perfect. So I called her and said, would you read for this? I'd love to hear you read. And once she read, we felt she was the granddaughter.
Wonderful.
The biggest problem we had was finding Officer Bruno. That is a story in itself. For those who are watching who are filmmakers, I want to reassure you, there is a film god, okay? And that film god watches out for us and our films. We could not find an Officer Bruno. And I was panicking, and we were maybe a couple of weeks from scheduled shooting, and we had people send, we had young men sending info in, but nothing of the look we were looking for. And then suddenly Robin calls me and said, Sherry, this guy contacted me out of the blue. He said a friend of his told him about this audition and thought he fit the bill. And then he sent us his picture and everything. And I went, oh my God. Have that guy read. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And then the prayer was, oh, please let him be an actor, not just a model.
Yeah.
And he happened to be in Sicily, Italy at the time we wanted the taping, and he taped and from Italy. And he also did a callback from Italy, which was like 2 a.m. there. And he was so kind. Yeah. So when he read, he was perfect, and we hired him, and we were able to meet our schedule. So it all worked out.
There's,
I can go on and on. I'm trying.
I know.
That's
But
fantastic.
there's such
I
great
would say
talent.
sharing also the film God's Bless You with great music, because I would just, dancing.
Oh yeah, I was sitting back here going, "Let's dance." Yeah, Rich is, oh God, I am so lucky, knock on wood. Rich is so talented, and he has this amazing ability to get the right music
Yeah.
and add it at the right time. And yeah, I'm really really very lucky to have him by my side as we do these films. He's just
Love it.
amazing.
All right. Well, we'd love to also join the second filmmaker whose film was in that block, Lysandra Peterson, the filmmaker
Wonderful.
behind 500 Fireflies. And Lysandra, the film looks beautiful. We know it's a feature, and it's set for release in 2026. But if you can let our viewers just have a little bit more background on just where things stand with the film and what they can expect next.
Sure. We're in the process of delivering it right now. So all the dotting the T's and crossing the I's and QC and all this fun technical stuff. So, but yeah, it's been a process, probably a 10-year process since I first wrote the very first, exterior highway day kind of the first log line. And we shot it in 2021. So that's been 5 years since we shot it. And now we're finally it's gonna actually be out there and be available for people to rent or buy.
Yeah, home stretch. And I know that the film centers on a father bringing his daughter back to his hometown. What other sort of themes about family and second chances are you exploring in the film?
Yeah, it's a lot of themes around, I guess, family and community also. So it's kind of, it's a love letter to the South and to the '90s. The kind of the era that I grew up in, and it's set in a town of 500 people. So related to the title of the film. So a much smaller town. I'm from Stanton, Virginia. So it's not that small of a town, but I kind of, the dramatic effect, I wanted to make it a really, really small town, and one that's been hit by economic downturn. And so they come back and there's kind of like, well, what's here? And then so the father and the daughter are also at a crossroads in their life as they're navigating a separation, like the separation of the parents. And so they're kind of in the wreckage of their life, and the town is in this, kind of wrecked place where they're like, there's not even a town here anymore, but there is. And so it's a little fish out of water story. It's also an ensemble piece. So all the townspeople are characters. And so, yeah, it's about moving forward and finding healing and next steps in what feels like a decimated moment, I guess, of your life.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful. Sherry talked a little bit about the sort of international component of her film. I would love to just know a little bit more about the how it was filming in the rural environment where you did, and what was the most memorable part of that.
Oh wow, it was a great experience. We filmed they were all Valley filmmakers from Stanton and up to Harrisonburg. So we have a great team of folks that we actually made 2 feature films that summer. One that was I was the first AD on their film, and then the DP for that came over to the writer director was our AC on 500 Fireflies. So we all kind of shifted roles around, and we did 2 films in 2 months basically. But yeah, it was a great experience, and we just have so much talent, in Virginia, in places that you wouldn't necessarily expect, outside of the bigger cities. But yeah, I mean, I think I credit how beautiful the film looks to how much talent I had in my crew all coming together.
Yeah. I would just love to know a little bit more. We saw the imagery of the fireflies, beautiful. What's the background on that?
On the metaphor or how we actually did it?
I actually did it.
Yeah, a lot of them are real actually. Just 'cause we shot in July through August, so like mid. Yeah, it was basically it was a 3 week. I guess it was 4 week shoot. So it's been so long now, it's hard to remember. But it was July. It was peak firefly season, so we actually could film a lot of real lightning bugs. And then the ones that were close ups, like the hero bugs, we had our great motion graphics friend create a lot of those. So Kevin Finnegan is our guy, and he built those. I mean, did just magic stuff that I can't I can't even imagine how he does it. But so except for there is one actual hero. Then the climax of the film. There's a real bug that performed exactly on cue, crawled up the edge of the mason jar and blinked and then took off.
Oh, a star.
Yeah, exactly. We were like,
that's a film god thing. Yep.
Exactly.
Yes.
Film god. Yep. Exactly.
Nice. So remind us, Lysander, how we can see it.
So it's going to be available on. I'm not sure exactly what streaming platforms, but our distributor is going to be placing it out there, so I can spread information around as it becomes available. But hopefully it'll be out later this year. Will be available.
Okay, great. Well, good luck with all of that. It is amazing. And having, I'm a graduate of James Madison University, so having all of that connection, I didn't realize there was a deep film community there.
Yeah, James Madison is actually where we originally met the crew that we ended up working with. So doing films kind of through through the university, we all kind of met each other, and then we ended up making these bigger projects.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Did you cast from that area as well?
We cast. It was a mix of local actors, friends of mine, some people that I wrote specifically to parts to put them in the movie just because I like them, and then some of them were further, like the main actress I've known since she was a child, and so I had written this part for her as she got older and older and was really like pushing the boundaries of being 15. So I kind of made her like she's 16 but almost 17. She was actually 19 when we shot, but and we knew her from California, and now she lives in Tennessee. And then the main actor who plays the dad is from Austin, and we actually knew him through JMU, through one of our contacts at JMU had hired him, cast him in something, and said, "This guy's great." And we read him, and the two of them worked really well together as father and daughter. So. And then I guess Richard Reilly, who's a great character actor, he's been in everything from Casino to Fried Green Tomatoes, like the Office Space. Like it was an amazing experience to work with him, and we had a mutual connection with him, and so he gave us a great deal, and he's just a lovely person, and so he's probably our biggest name, I guess, in the film.
Yeah. That's super exciting.
Yeah.
I have another question for you, Sherry. That film had so much going on, so many fun props. When you work on a film like that, are you able to hold on to anything special after the fact?
A lot of broken dishes.
Yes.
Let me think. The props. I had to go to Goodwill or Salvation Army, get some old plates that we had fun hammering and breaking them up. I guess that was the biggest thing. I looked for a coat rack that we could destroy. We found a small coffee table that we were able to, I'm giving tricks of the trade away. But we were able to saw the feet until they would almost break. So when the actor fell on it, it would splatter. And the doilies that were around, I think, were Robin's grandmothers or something. So it was it was scouting what you needed and just finding, using it in the way that you need it. The red teapot in the beginning is mine. So if you come to my house, you'll see it on my
I gotta
stove.
get a cup of tea,
Nice.
from that
Yeah.
Nice.
pop from the film. Amazing.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing more about your movies. I'm
Thank
just excited to see both of them.
Yes,
you.
cannot wait to see 500 Fireflies and to watch Bats in the Belfry again.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Bats, I believe, is going to be kept on the WIFV Facebook, YouTube page. So
Nice.
you want to see it again? Join us.
I'm very grateful to you all and to be part of this community. I just wanted to say that.
Yay, we're glad you're part of it too. That was a beautiful film you made. So,
Absolutely.
Thank
all right, we are going to do a little dip in and find out how we're doing with the fundraising.
Yeah.
So
this is.
Oh, there it is. So as the day goes on, we're going to bring that green a little bit higher. So I know that you guys have seen some of the scrolling go across. We had a $100 donation from, I believe, I lost the name. I know we had a $100 donation and a $25 donation. Thank you, from Connie S. Thank you, Connie.
Thank you,
Yay.
Yeah. And for everybody else, that you take that screenshot and use that QR code. If you can't keep up with the QR code, keep up with the website. It's easy to find where to donate if you just go to WIFV.org. So
just a little math. We're going to do a little bit of math here. So if we have
no math,
there's always math. There's math. Math is life. Come on. So if $100 donation is given by 65 people, we will reach our goal. And 65 people is not a whole lot. Or the other way around, what if $65 donation? How many people do we need for that? Ready? 100 people. We can do it. I know we can do it.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
think that's doable as well. I think we should make that our goal. Yeah.
What?
And you know what? And the math could just keep going on that. We could do all sorts.
I know, because there could be $50 donations, and
now you're testing me. Okay, but yeah,
I'll let you know after the next video.
Yes. All right. I think
Sometimes I have to take out my pen and paper. We'll figure it out.
We all have calculators on our phones. Thank goodness.
But as a member of the programming committee, where we talk and try to figure out, like, what program do we need next? Or we have people who've come in and said, hey, we really need something on AI. So we have a whole series of programs coming up starting in March. Where we'll talk, not AI. I'm so sorry. It's about vertical videos or short form videos. The new trend that's coming out of Turkey and out of China. So all of this helps us support it. And I
would also add, as someone who knows that that we are always excited to have young people join our program. Sometimes we can do discounts and things like that for our young participants. And again, the fundraising helps us spread the wealth and provide opportunities for emerging young filmmakers to participate in the great work that we're doing here. So what do you think, Allison? Ready to talk about our next theme?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. So we're getting ready for our next block. The theme is Women Rise.
Ooh, this is like Women's History Month, so that's a really great topic.
Perfect.
Our first video is titled 200 Plus Years, American Women Fight and Rise. The filmmaker is Catherine Brewster. And just a quick description, the 200 plus year history of American women's struggle to achieve equality and the hard-won freedoms and independence at risk today. So very timely movie. And let's see it.
Let's see it.
The 1960s in America were fraught with upheaval, civil rights activism, protests against the Vietnam War and the draft, a sense of political discontent and a growing women's liberation movement. We, women of the 1960s generation, were there. We rode the crest of this giant wave of change. We stood up. We spoke out. Today, with the 2020 centennial anniversary of women's suffrage in the United States, we look back at the arduous path towards equality and celebrate the unparalleled advances in women's rights that our generation, unlike any before, has experienced. In 1776, Abigail Adams wrote to her husband, John Adams, "Remember the ladies, and be more generous and favorable to them than our ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could." America's founding fathers, despite espousing a philosophy of freedom and equality, extended full rights to a privileged minority, wealthy white men. Ever since, for more than 200 years, women of every ethnicity and walk of life have fought for their rights. In the 1700s, American women could not vote, own property, keep their wages, control their own bodies, or have a legal right to their own children. Of course, the injustice was not limited to gender. Native Americans were denied citizenship. Enslaved African Americans were defined as property. In the 1800s, although prohibited from engaging in public political discourse, women began to speak out. African American Maria W. Stewart advocated for abolition and women's rights, becoming the first known woman to lecture to mixed audiences of women and men, black and white. The Lowell Mill Girls of Massachusetts challenged their factories' unfair wages and deplorable working conditions. Women's rights supporters held a convention in Seneca Falls, New York, to demand equality. Abolitionists like Sojourner Truth, a former slave, challenged the prevailing notion that women were unfit to participate in economic and political life. By the late 19th century, in most states, women could legally own property, control their wages, sign contracts, and retain custody of their children, the first steps toward economic independence. African American women were granted, on paper, freedom and citizenship by the 13th and 14th Amendments. But for many, racist Jim Crow laws and ingrained prejudices constricted them. Without the right to vote, all women still lacked a voice in the policies and laws that affected their daily lives. Suffragists fought for nearly a century before the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920 and women could finally vote. Yet not all women benefited equally. Native American women couldn't vote until they became citizens in 1924, and for Asian American women, the year was 1943. It wasn't until the Voting Rights Act of 1965 when many Native American and African American women could finally cast their ballots. In the 1920s, while the view persisted that a woman's place was in the home as wife and mother, roles gradually began to shift. World War II brought on a surge of factory work to fuel the war effort, and by 1950, over 30% of women were employed outside the home. But still, women were far from equal in the stratified, male-dominated society of the 1950s. Working women were largely excluded from high-paying trade and professional jobs and relegated to secondary or support positions. Many women of color could only find work in kitchens, as domestics, or in agriculture. Help wanted ads were segregated by race and gender. Most women could not hold a credit card in their own name, obtain a loan, or rent an apartment. Contraceptive methods were unreliable, and the sale of birth control illegal in many states. Abortions were unlawful, obtaining a divorce difficult, and rape was onerous to prosecute. In the 1960s, propelled by labor reform and the civil rights movement, a revolution was dawning. Civil rights lawyers such as Polly Murray, Dorothy Kenyon and Ruth Bader Ginsburg spurred unprecedented expansions in women's right to equal pay, birth control pills, legal abortions, credit and housing in their own name, marriage equality, and greater access to higher education and well-compensated professional careers. Simultaneously, powerful feminist reformers, LGBTQ organizers, and Black Power activists led a transformation in American culture. Women who came of age during the political and cultural revolutions of the 1960s were emboldened to take full advantage of their historically unprecedented opportunities. The past half-century has seen many women forge new pathways to economic independence and personal freedom, and lay the foundation for generations to come. While much has changed since Abigail Adams' plea to her husband, entrenched misogyny, racism, and income disparity have hampered progress for many women over the past 50 years, and still stand in the way of full equality for all. Now, many hard-won legal rights are under attack, inspiring an evolution of feminist creativity in the generations of today. So with friends, mothers, daughters, and granddaughters, we, the women of the 1960s generation, share a series of personal stories to affirm the importance of women's rights. Together, for our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, we stand up and speak out.
Wow, that was incredibly inspiring. So next up in this block, we have The Only Way Out Is Through by Jody Sakel. And here's a quick synopsis. A former sex worker and trafficking survivor speaks with rare honesty about exploitation, addiction, and trauma, and how recovery led her to help other women find a way out. Let's watch.
I wanted to escape my life. I was living to die. And by the time I was 20, I was selling my body and smoking a crack pipe because I was living in survival. It took me a long time. But in 2019, I came to realize that the woman I worked for was a sex trafficker. When I started working with a therapist that actually understood trauma, that's when my healing really started to occur. And that was the start of her Resiliency Center. Her was a calling that I needed to go help other women who have similar experiences as my own to avoid falling through the cracks, to help those that are in crisis get on the track and the path that they want to be on. I had no clue it would be embraced and that it would grow and we would help so many women. Her taught me so much through working with the young women we serve. I learned more about myself and I learned more therapeutic modalities and access to them and wanting to heal the trauma from my childhood. As a kid living with my father, he'd beat me every day. He would say, "No one's coming for you." And no one was coming for me. At 10, I started trying to kill myself because the abuse was so bad. In middle school, I started having sex and carried on suicidal ideations. In high school, I was popping pills and dropping acid and suicidal and high risk in every regard. At 20 years old, I bought a one-way plane ticket to Washington, D.C. And my parents told me never to call them again. I took it to heart. I was not going to ask for their help. And then one day I went to the bank and I had no money. I was overdrawn to the limit where you can't You can't get any more. And when I got home, I went to the downstairs neighbor's house, and I was sobbing and crying. And she said, I have an idea. And we sat down with the phone book, and we flipped to the back of the pages, and there was a phone number to call. It was Pamela Martin and Associates, later known as the DC Madam. And then I went to work. The first call was like in and out in like 10 minutes maybe. I gave him a blowjob, I got my money, and I walked out. And I thought, I can do this. But the second call, he used his whole time. As we were having sex, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. The first night was only 2 calls. Later on, it would be 3 calls each night. But I would go to the bar afterwards with my money. The thing with fast cash is it doesn't last. And I would go drink, and I felt the sense of control and power because I had my own money. I could buy my clothes. I could pay my bills. But I drank it and smoked it. That's what I did with my money. My last night drinking wasn't anything special or different. I was at the bar. I was next to this old man who was a regular, and figured I was going to end up going home with him as we drank. And I put my hand in my purse. The number to Alcoholics Anonymous fell out. And it was a God moment. It was a moment where when I woke up that morning, the first thing I did was that I called that number on that sticky note. They told me where our meeting was at 6 o'clock. And I went. Hi, everyone. I'm Natasha, alcoholic. And I felt relief. My 12-step recovery helped me a lot. It helped me grow. And when I got sober, it was for the first time my entire life people were nice to me. And no one wanted anything from me but healing. I think I was about 13 years sober when I decided to start her. And it was definitely a calling for me. It was something that I didn't want other women who had similar experiences as mine to have to endure them without help or an exit ramp to a different life.
Natasha gave me my life back. She guided me, mentored me, and now I'm walking in a path that I never imagined.
We now have the opportunity to help other women, to be that outreach, to be that hand, to offer the unconditional support. Healing is a lifelong journey. I just realized that the only way out is through.
Incredible. Absolutely.
Powerful. Both of those were powerful. Well, let's take a moment and we have some time to talk to both Catherine Brewster and Jody Sako. There's Catherine. And there's Jody. So Jody, can you guys put their names up?
I think it's
There it is. So thank you so much for coming on today. And both of your movies were super powerful.
Incredible.
Shonda, you want to?
Yeah, let's you know what, we saw Catherine, your film, 200 plus years, American women fight and rise. So let's kick it off with you. I mean, you focused on, to some degree, women from the 60s, but also talked about 200 years of this history. How did you approach shaping such a large and dynamic history in a short film like this?
not sure Catherine can hear us. Yeah.
Oh, I think we may be having some technical difficulties with Catherine. So,
Hi,
Jody.
Jody, we're going to jump to you. You're on the spotlight. What a powerful movie. Natasha was so candid. Where can you talk about the origin of this documentary?
Yes, absolutely. Natasha is an incredible woman who survived sex trafficking and trauma and turned her life around and started the nonprofit Her Resiliency Center that helps women, young women who've experienced sexual exploitation and trauma rebuild their lives.
Fascinating story. Is this so? You are Are you a documentary filmmaker? And you do this, or was this a one-off thing?
So this is a documentary that came together because I'm part of a group called DC Filmmakers. And every couple months, the head of the group challenges the group to make a film in a month. And so I have always wanted to make the film about Natasha again. I met Natasha 9 years ago when I was in a film class and I needed a subject. And I called a social services provider and he introduced me to Natasha. And I was so compelled by her story. We made a short film in the class, but I always wanted to remake the film with a professional crew. And so when this opportunity came up, I reached out to Natasha. She said she was willing. So I pitched her story to the group, and professionals came to me and wanted to be part of the film. So I called Natasha. She was willing. And so we made the film, and we made it in 1 month on no budget.
Wow.
Everybody was a volunteer. So I was really fortunate. I had an incredible writer and producer, Elizabeth Gensler, who was invaluable to the project. And Shannon Lamb, our editor, really helped the film come together.
I have a quick question for you, Jody, the fact that you referenced having met her, Natasha, so many years ago, and initially done the film then, but without the professional crew that you have for this time around. What was the trust building opportunity, and how did you approach that with her then? Because with such a sensitive topic, I suspect that was an important element of your filmmaking journey.
Well, Natasha, the amazing thing about Natasha is that she is so honest about her story. And she, I think, over the years has just gotten more and more comfortable with talking about it. And part of her healing has been talking about it and helping other women. So I think she really, through therapy, and she actually, um, she was trafficked, and she became addicted to alcohol and drugs, and she sort of hit rock bottom and was able to get into AA, and she was able to get into Alcoholics Anonymous, and they helped her, and then she got into college, and she actually ended up interning for a powerful senator on Capitol Hill.
Oh, wow.
So she started, her journey to rebuild her life. And I think more and more along the way, she got more and more comfortable telling people what happened to her.
So powerful.
How brave.
That is really big. Hey, we have Catherine. She's back. So let's pull her on. I still have some questions for you, Jody, if we have a minute.
Yeah. Catherine, can
Welcome.
you hear us now?
Catherine, she's there. I know she's there. Catherine, thank you so much for your film. That was really, really relevant.
I think we're still having some difficulties. We'll see if we can iron those out. And let's return back to Jody for now.
So, Jody, I have a question. You've screened this film. Where has it been, and what sort of feedback have you gotten?
So we've just started screening it, and we have just screened it for the DC Filmmakers group. And we've just started submitting it to festivals and really looking for festivals that have shown films that involve some kind of trauma and healing. And so it's really starting on the journey of, where we can show the film. And we're also reaching out to organizations that do similar things, like dealing with trauma, but also universities that have film programs and social services programs, and seeing if they may be interested in showing the film, and AA groups and others that so I really see this as an education film more so than a film for festivals, but we're sort of pursuing both opportunities.
Yeah, I'd imagine that the festival viewing, though, could help amplify the message and your effort to get it to the audiences that will assist you in achieving that educational aim. So it seems really smart to have that dual approach for such an important film, Jody.
Well, thank you so much. I didn't realize it was you were just sending it out. Is this the first time you've had it screened?
It is the first time we've had it screened.
Yay! Wow.
How special.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
So our feedback is the feedback I was asking about. Nice work. Really, really powerful work. Is there anything else you want to share with us about the film?
I mean, I guess the most important thing to share is Natasha's, healing, and her Resiliency Center is the name of her organization, and they're doing such powerful work with young women, helping them with everything from job opportunities to counseling to housing support. And I think that anybody who's watching by any chance who needs help healing, and what's incredible about Natasha's approach is that she treats every woman as an individual, and what do they need as an individual to heal. And I think that is really unique. So that's what I would like to say also.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have one more quick question, and that is, maybe it's too early to even be thinking about this, but I keep coming back to what you shared about having the earlier experience with her than wanting to do the short with a professional crew. Do you think that there might be an opportunity for you to revisit a third time, and maybe a feature documentary that allows you to go even a step deeper in exploring the story she's telling, and the impact it can have on others?
Yeah, I think, we were limited in this opportunity with DC Filmmakers to a 6-minute documentary, and, we weren't paying anyone. Everyone was a volunteer. So I think that getting more into the experience of, sex trafficking. I think with everything with Jeffrey Epstein that's been going on, unfortunately, that there's been more focus on sex trafficking and helping women, rebuild their lives from that experience. So I think, it would be a great opportunity to think about doing a feature, because we could get more into that and also more into her organization. And one thing that we wanted to do that we weren't able to do was interview other women who have benefited from her resiliency center, because I know the woman who we interviewed in the film has a tragic but incredible story that I think people would learn a lot from.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this. This is where we are right now. Catherine Brewster, we're still trying to bring her back in, but I'm afraid it may not happen, and we may have to visit with her another time.
But we're grateful to Catherine for sharing her powerful film with us.
And I do want to know, there she is. Catherine, welcome. Can you hear us? No. It's okay.
Thank you, Catherine. We will find a way to further amplify your powerful film. Thank you for attempting to join us today.
Thank you so much. And I know it's part of a series, and I want to know more about that. So I'm going to reach out to her. But before we move anywhere else, it is time for an update.
Yeah.
Do we know? Oh my goodness, here it is. I saw there was another $100 donation came in while we were interviewing Jody. Beautiful.
Yeah. And remember, our goal is $6,500. And we really feel like we can get there today, but only with your help. So again, use the QR code. Go to the website if you don't see the code or having any trouble with that. And if you might, maybe share this information with some of your friends and other folks who would appreciate the value of an organization like WIFV, what we can do for women and beyond who are professionals and emerging and aspiring content creators, filmmakers, podcasters, you name it. People who are doing important work in film and media and helping to tell powerful stories like the ones that we just watched.
And there's so many different kinds of stories. That's the thing. It's like a film can tell a story of something really serious, or it can tell something really beautiful, or something even funny.
We've already seen all of that, right?
Yep. And whether it's a narrative or a documentary, that is the power of storytelling, and that's what I love about film. We do have our next, thank you, Heart and Power. Thank you. Our next category is positive perspectives, using through art and music as healing. And
yep. And so excited to share our very first film in this block is My Festive Liver Transplant, a short documentary about a librarian's positive experience getting a liver transplant, with reference to how playing music on his ukulele helped him through this medical adventure. Let's take a look.
I honestly didn't know whether I was going to make it to my 64th birthday. In January of this year, I ended up with some severe jaundice. I didn't know what was causing it, but my liver was coming to an end. I first found out about my autoimmune condition called PSC that slowly degrades the liver in 1994. And I was told that I would need a liver transplant in 30 years. I lived for 30 years knowing that a liver transplant was in my future, did not slow down my life. When I first learned that I needed a liver transplant, it was scary, but I had a choice that this transplant was either going to be scary or it would be festive. So I decided it's going to be festive for me. I was chuckling to myself when I was planning my hospital stay because I knew I could take my playful spirit right into the hospital and nobody could say I can't do that. In the past few years, I became very interested in the ukulele, and I brought 3 ukuleles with me to the hospital to make music part of my own therapy. I'm a maker, so as a maker, you like to be in the creative zone, and for 2 weeks in the hospital, I wasn't going to just lie there. I was going to do things. I wanted to teach music lessons from my hospital bed. I believe the ukulele is a tool of social cohesion and personal uplift. For me, it brings joy, and it strengthens even my mental health. 2 or 3 days after my liver transplant, I received a national award from Library Journal magazine. It's called the Library Journal Mover and Shaker Award. I like to innovate in the public library field, so I designed this game as a recreational math game for the home so that more students just enjoy numbers. It's a real kick to see children benefiting from something that you made from your own imagination. So at my library job, I help the public use our computers. People come to the library when they're looking for housing or jobs. They need somebody to talk to, both with technical skill and to give them advice. I love to say, knowledge is power. We give it away for free at the library. Would you like some? After my liver transplant, I came to understand more about the Mitra machine, which pumps blood through a liver and keeps it alive, and that extends the number of hours that the liver is available for transplant, so that there's no urgency and rush. The surgeon doesn't have to come in the middle of the night. They can have a full night's sleep and operate in a rested state. That's great for the surgeon, it's great for the patient. The great advantage of the Mitra is that we don't have as many discarded livers. It's great for the National Organ Wait List. It's a cliche to say that modern medicine is a miracle, but in my case, modern medicine was a miracle. And so I might not be alive if it hadn't been for some people at Oxford University in England who said, we have got to come up with a better way of keeping donated livers viable. So these folks at Oxford who I've never met, I owe them a thanks. I have an appreciation that they pursued their calling to build a better world. So I'm actually quite grateful for the health challenge that I've had. I view my liver transplant as a gift. It renewed my passions and my focus. It was kind of a euphoria that here I am, I'm still alive. I just had a second chance at life.
Wow. I had no idea this sort of thing existed. Technology is pretty amazing.
It absolutely is.
And Phil, even though he looks like he was very, very professional in this whole thing, he looks like he'd be fun to hang around with.
I mean, particularly if he's bringing a ukulele or 2 or 3. Sounds like he's got 3.
Yeah. I have, and he is a WIFV member, and so maybe we could have a little ukulele class, because I bought my ukulele during COVID, and I'm still working on it. Yeah, still working on it.
I have a ukulele story myself. There was a ukulele in a room in my home. It was purchased for my daughter when she begged for one, and I'm not quite sure she's ever used it.
Well, Shonda, guess what we get to do? We can form a ukulele band. Just a quick reminder that tomorrow is Women's History Day, or Women's History Day during Women's History Month. And so International Women's History Day. And it's so nice that we're able to highlight all of these different movies. And even though Phil isn't a woman, he is a supporter of WIFV.
Oh, yeah.
And we have seen him around doing all the good work.
Yeah.
We do have another. We just received another $100 donation.
Oh, yay.
Okay, wait a minute. Does that make 4 or 5? So that brings us down to 60 or 59. How many more do we need?
We're in the mix. I don't think we need to be precise. I think we still have a ways to go, but I think we know that we're on the path. Right?
We are on that path, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the comments that are showing up. It's good to know that there are folks out there watching, and these movies are touching some hearts.
And some of them have been anonymous coming in.
Yeah.
These are people, they don't want the glory. They just want support.
They just want to support us.
Yeah.
So our next movie is called Dora Fu Lee, A Life in Art. And it is about a Chinese American fine artist, Dora Fu Lee, who is one of the last living Chinese literati painters, and she's local. She's in DC, and I screened this video before you guys came on here, and the art is amazing, and I had no idea she existed. So take your time, sit down, pull up a chair, whatever, and really enjoy the next bit of beauty, because not only is it the beauty of the storytelling, but it's the beauty of Dora's art.
In each recent generation of the Fu family, at least one child was encouraged to become an artist or calligrapher, to learn from older masters and absorb their skills and techniques. In my era, I inherited that artistic legacy. But this was a time of tremendous changes for China. Those changes influenced my life's direction and its expression in art.
Dora Fu Lee is a Chinese-born fine artist who lives in the Washington, D.C. area. Her paintings, like her life story, are a journey across cultures. Dora was born in Beijing in 1929, the second daughter in a family of 6. As a child, she absorbed the traditions of a Chinese aristocracy that no longer exists. The Fu Cha clan, Dora's ancestors, were a noble family, one of the most powerful families of the Qing dynasty. Her immediate family members were direct descendants of Empress Xiao Shen Chun, the wife and empress consort of Chen Long, the Qing dynasty emperor who ruled China from 1735 to 1796. The Qing dynasty was dissolved in 1911, and China's last emperor abdicated in 1912, ushering in a time of tumult and rapid change. Dora was born into a period of war, occupation, and revolution. As a child, she lived through the Second Japanese invasion of China, the Japanese occupation of Beijing, and World War II. Then came the failed mediation between the Chinese Nationalist Party and the Chinese Communist Party, which led to the Chinese Civil War. The political landscape was difficult for Dora's father and grandfather, who were known as progressive thinkers, influenced by the Western world. In the early 20th century, her grandfather, Fu Rei Qing, shaved off his queue, also known as a braid, to demonstrate his commitment to a new and progressive China. Later, Dora's father, Philip, donned Western-style clothing, became a Christian, and legally changed the spelling of the family's last name from Fu to Fugh. He did so no one would be insulted when asked to spell his last name in English. With the relentless political changes in China during the early 20th century, suspicious eyes began monitoring the Fu family's every move. In 1937, after the Empire of Japan launched their second strategic invasion into China, surveillance increased. In 1941, Philip Fu was placed under house arrest because of the anti-Japanese activities organized and carried out at Yanqing University, where he graduated and worked.
On the same morning that the Japanese Air Force bombed Pearl Harbor, there was a hurried knock on the brass door knocker at our front gate. It was a group of uniformed soldiers from the Japanese military police headquarters. They informed Father that he could not leave our house without their permission. From that day forward until the end of the war, Father lived as a prisoner inside our gates. In those days, the Japanese military police would randomly come to search our house and take Father to their headquarters for interrogation. Every time he was taken away, we never knew whether he would be beaten, tortured, or whether he would come back alive.
The family limited their movements to only necessary outings such as grocery shopping, attending school, and on a very rare occasion, going to church. Despite these challenges, the Fu family was able to create a peaceful, almost serene home life. Dora's multi-generational family lived in a large courtyard complex in Beijing's Western District in the brick Pagoda Hutan neighborhood. The Hutan neighborhoods were constructed during the Yuan dynasty, 1260 to 1368, when the Mongolians first captured and ruled all of China. The term is derived from the Mongolian word hatog, which means water well. The neighborhood is believed to be one of the earliest residential areas in modern Beijing. Dora's grandparents were a constant presence in her childhood and remained in her mind's eye throughout her life. At the family dinner table, lessons were learned by observing her elders. Their subtle teachings became a significant part of Dora's moral compass.
For years, the three generations of our family had dinner together in the dining room. It was not a spacious room, but long and wide enough to accommodate an extra long table that seated as many as 8 adults and 8 children.
Dora's education drew on Chinese and Manchurian practices and principles, and her religious upbringing included both Confucian and Christian teachings. She was able to attend Catholic school during the Japanese occupation, as they did not place any restrictions on students who attended there. An important part of her education was art and calligraphy. From the time of her great-grandfather, Fu Cha Wuhe, one person in every generation of the Fu family would be trained to excel in painting, calligraphy, or literary composition. Early in her life, Dora's talent for these art forms was evident, and she soon became the heir apparent in her generation. She learned traditional Chinese calligraphy from her grandfather, and she was the only child allowed to watch him work in his study.
Grandfather taught me calligraphy when I was probably of preschool age, for I could barely reach his writing desk while seated in his chair. He taught me how to hold the brush in the proper way and how to apply each brush stroke. Grandfather loved insects as well as plants and flowers. I sometimes copy his drawings of orchids, butterflies, and dragonflies that he caught to serve as models for his painting.
Dora started her formal art training with Zhao Mengzhu, a renowned Chinese painter. As a teenager, she joined the then-famous Snow Reed Painting Society and studied with Master Yan Shaosheng, the first master of the Songfen painting order. When under the tutelage of Master Yan Shaosheng, Dora developed a strong foundation in classical Chinese watercolor and calligraphy. Works by Dora and 3 of her classmates became widely known in Beijing art circles. They were often referred to as the 4 female disciples of Yan. For almost 50 years, Dora's father had been close friends with the noted American missionary and Yenching University founder and president, Dr. John Leighton Stewart. They first met when Dr. Stewart was a teaching professor at the Nanjing Theological Seminary, where Dora's future father-in-law was president. Dr. Stewart's lectures about creating a new China resonated throughout the country. Dr. Stewart inspired and convinced Dora's father, Philip, to enroll at the university. It was there that Dr. Stewart took an interest in mentoring Philip, and over time, the friendship between the two grew closer.
It is a Chinese custom to respect older people, and since Dr. Stewart and my grandfather were the same age, it was proper that we address him as grandfather. We eventually just call him Grandpa Stewart.
Dr. Stewart was appointed U.S. Ambassador to China in 1946, and Philip Fu became his confidant, aide, and advisor. But then in 1949 came China's Civil War. Philip realized that his work with Ambassador Stewart put not only him, but his whole family at risk. 2 of his daughters were already in the United States. Dora's older sister Aileen was studying in New York, and her younger sister Helen had married an American soldier and was living there with his family. Philip began to make plans for the rest of the family. They would have to leave the country at different times to avoid any suspicion and confrontation. In 1949, Ambassador Stewart and Philip left China for the United States, settling in Washington, D.C. The Fu elders, Dora's grandparents, decided to stay in their home in Beijing. Her grandfather did not want any of the family to leave China. However, it was for their own safety. So for the time being, Dora remained in Beijing with her grandparents.
My mother told me that my grandfather had refused to leave their home. Grandfather said he had lived through China's many changes, from the fall of the Qing dynasty through the chaotic times of the warlords, through the fledgling republic, the Japanese occupation, and now the Civil War and the communists. He told Mother that he and the rest of the family would stay in their home in Beijing until the last wave of the political upheaval was over. He would wait, looking forward to the day when we would all return home.
Dora's mother and brother John were able to leave China via Hong Kong just before the establishment of the People's Republic of China, and then joined Philip in Washington, D.C. John Fu later became the first Chinese American to attain the rank of general in the U.S. military and was appointed Judge Advocate General of the U.S. Army. Dora's own journey took a different path. Earlier, during China's Civil War, Dora met Richard Wen Han Lee. Her father, Philip, was a friend of Richard's father, Dr. Handel Lee. In 1948, they arranged an introduction in hopes that Dora and Richard would fall in love, get married, and get out of war-torn China. Their hope became reality. And on April 25, 1949, Dora and Richard were married. 4 days later, they fled to Tokyo, where they would start their new life together, away from China's internal struggles. Little did Dora know that this would be the last time she would ever see her grandparents.
On April 29, 1949, Richard and I left for Tokyo on an airplane that General Zhu, a close family friend, had arranged for us. We left with one small suitcase and a $20 bill that my mother had given us. It was difficult to leave, but in such a chaotic time, we had to cope and think of nothing else except what might happen the next day. Mother said to me, "You go. It's better to go to Tokyo. It's more stable a place now that the Japanese surrounded. It would be best to send letters to Beijing, where your grandparents are."
For the newlyweds, their goal was to reach the United States. But that would prove difficult. Despite the recent repeal of the Chinese Exclusion Act, a U.S. law that had prevented people from China to legally enter the United States, the new annual immigration quota for China was only 100 people. Obtaining entry to the U.S. would take years. Once settled in Tokyo, Dora worked as an illustrator for the United States Army and continued painting on her own. Then one day she met Prince Pu Ru, renowned literary artist, elder cousin to China's last emperor Pu Yi, and an old friend of her grandfather. The prince soon became her mentor, and she continued painting under his guidance almost every day as his only protege student in Japan. She was inspired by his passion for Chinese painting and calligraphy, as well as his wisdom and expertise. She called him Pu Shi, a term of respect.
During our first session, Pu Shi said to me,
多若，你跟我学画，要从山水开始，因为山水用笔的各种方法熟悉后，其他的画如梅、兰、竹、菊、人物等等，都可以运用相似的笔法，那就会容易多了。多若，我想你小时候一定练过楷书，你也懂得行书吗？咱们以后大概不会再见面，你要多多复习我教给你的，要学会像小孩子刚学走路那样，一步一步的来，急不得。我教过的学生很多，我能看出他们的未来。你画得非常好，不管将来你怎么样发展，我敢断言，你一定会在自己的艺术旅程上有很高的成就。
Whenever people mention Pu Shi, my memory always goes back to those cherished days in Tokyo when I was under his tutelage. I can see his faint smile and hear his encouraging words echo vividly in my mind.
Dora Fu Lee was one of the young artists who had the good fortune to study with Prince Pu Ru. The paintings he prepared specifically for their classes epitomize his characteristic intellectual elegance, while also providing specific technical challenges. If you compare his compositions with Dora's paintings, you'll see both his approach to teaching and his students' ability to meet the various artistic challenges. Dora is considered one of his most talented students.
In February 1957, after 8 years of constantly applying for entry to the United States, Dora and Richard were finally allowed to leave Tokyo, their destination, Washington, D.C. Dora had not seen her family for nearly a decade. All of the people she loved dearly were now gathered in the same place to welcome Dora and Richard to the United States. Even Grandpa Stewart was there. He had suffered a stroke which left him partially paralyzed. Since 1949, Dr. Stewart was cared for and lived with Dora's parents. Dora loved living in Washington, D.C. The airy feel, the spaciousness, the wide streets. There was so much green and light, everything felt bright and welcoming. She felt an immediate sense of freedom, as if she could finally breathe. One of the first things she noticed were the buildings and their architecture, their beauty, design, and majestic presence. In a way, it reminded her of Beijing. Life in the United States was very different from life in China or Japan. For one thing, there were no servants or extended family to help and lend a hand. Everything was new to Dora. Her mother had learned and taught Dora simple domestic skills such as cooking, cleaning, laundry, and mending. Dora taught herself to use her mother's sewing machine and even learned to drive a car. she mastered each one of these tasks with great determination. Dora and Richard settled into a routine at her parents' home in Washington, D.C. Eventually, they got a place of their own nearby. Shortly after that, they started a family with the birth of their daughter, April. One day, while out for a walk in the neighborhood, she met an older Chinese gentleman, Dr. K.P. Guo, author, educator, and former president of one of the early Nanjing universities. He knew her family back in China, as well as her mentor, Prince Pu Ru. Soon after this chance meeting, Dora was invited to hold her first exhibition in the U.S. at the Chinese Cultural Institute in Washington, D.C., where Dr. Guo was president. It was Dora's introduction to D.C.'s artistic community. In 1960, Dora gave birth to another daughter, Sarah, and in 1961, she gave birth to her son, Handel. In 1963, she became pregnant again and bore a third daughter, Helen. Her husband, Richard, took a job in New Jersey, and the family lived there for 3 years. Dora cooked, cleaned, cared for her husband, and raised 4 young children, all the while continuing to paint. She even had 2 solo exhibitions of her work, one at the China Institute in New York City, and the other at the Swain Gallery in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Though I now have my hands full with 4 young children, somehow I always try to manage to have a table ready with paper, brushes, and color. If I could spare even a few minutes at any hour, I will pick up the brushes to practice calligraphy or basic painting exercises. Other times, I try to sketch the children or any object while they were taking their naps.
Dora was delighted when the family moved back to Washington, D.C. A busy American homemaker, she continued to make sure she had enough time to paint. Often, after picking up the kids from school, she would have them sit in the back of the car doing their homework while she sketched or painted local sites for an hour or so before rushing home to make dinner for the family. Dora loved painting and sketching Washington, D.C.'s majestic buildings and cityscapes. She wanted to learn how to paint using oil, so she taught herself by studying the Impressionist masters. To perfect her technique, she became a copyist at the National Gallery of Art. And she painted while her children were in school. As her experience grew, Dora's work began to get noticed in DC's art circles. She never stopped learning and took oil painting and sculpting lessons from the world-renowned Italian artist Pietro Lazzari. As Dora's reputation grew as a fine artist with an enchanting and unique style, people began to purchase and collect her art, first from the Stoneman Gallery and then from the Franz Bader Gallery. Gallery owner Franz Bader played a key role in her recognition and acclaim in DC's artistic community and national fine art circles. Washington Post's art critic Benjamin Forgey reviewed Dora's 1983 showing at the Franz Bader Gallery.
Her watercolor technique combines the controlled freedom of Oriental brushwork with a knowledge of Western painting. This deft mix of urban subject matter and an unusual technique, graceful brushwork, sometimes reinforced with quick strokes of the pen, a very liquid medium, luminous colors, and the surface bounce of unpainted paper showing through, produces highly personal and thoroughly enjoyable city views.
By popular demand, Dora found herself teaching. At first, she taught friends by giving private lessons in the basement of her home. She then taught watercolor and calligraphy to small groups and went on to teach calligraphy at George Washington University and traditional Chinese watercolor painting at the Smithsonian.
She taught out of a Bethesda home
which was largely devoted to family life, but with a basement studio of her own. My lessons would be taken with 3 other ladies who were also interested to learn from her, and we met very often thereafter. It was the warmest atmosphere in which to learn from a great teacher, someone deeply knowledgeable, but also with a natural gift for teaching and an aesthetic and a love of Chinese painting which was supreme.
Dora was invited to show her work in numerous cities. She had dozens of solo exhibits throughout the United States, Canada, Western Europe, and Asia. She received more than 50 awards for her watercolor paintings, calligraphy, and sculptures. Dora's work covers many subjects. However, a recurring theme is the cityscape architecture of Washington, D.C.
Since leaving mainland China years ago, Richard and I have lived in many places. Most of these places were merely locations, and their impressions on us soon faded after we move on to another place. But Washington, D.C., with its graceful architecture and rich history, intrigues me more and more each year that I live here. My fondness for this city has grown into an enduring love for it. As often as I can, I try to make a record of the most beautiful and meaningful buildings by painting them.
Dora's work is part of the permanent collections at the Smithsonian Institution's National Portrait Gallery, National Museum of Asian Art, the Smithsonian Castle, and the National Museum of Women in the Arts. Her paintings also hang in renowned institutions and private collections around the world.
Though Dora Fu Li uses traditional Chinese materials, brushes, ink, silk, and paper, and continues to draw upon traditional Chinese themes, she paints Western subjects with an awareness of Western traditions. The results are exciting and extremely personal. From this fusion of 2 cultures, Dora has created a style that is entirely new and may well be indicative of what is yet to be another chapter in the history of Chinese literati painting.
Dora began to slow down in her 80s and stopped painting at the age of 90. Although she no longer paints, she continues to practice calligraphy. In her art, as in her life, Dora Fu Li bridges East and West, traditional and contemporary, disciplined and free-flowing, in an elegance that is singular and uniquely her own. To learn more about Dora Fu Li and her work, please visit the Heritage Series website at www.heritageseries.us.
Oh, wow. What a treat. Huh, Allison?
Yeah, the best thing about DC is like the depth of art,
Yeah.
art available here. It's just amazing. Well, I think it's time for us to meet a filmmaker, and we have got Phil Shapiro ready to rumble.
Yeah.
Phil, it's so good to see you.
Same.
Yeah. What an incredible journey you took us through. Your film, I just a liver transplant, I must say, was quite a revelation. I think the title alone is something that would make someone smile, and it was wonderful to see the humor and music become such a part of your important and very personal story. What made you decide to document your experience?
Well, I wanted to help other people understand that this procedure, which sounds scary, it doesn't have to be scary, that your attitude determines your altitude in life, and that I decided that I had so much in my favor. I was so privileged in that I had a job with health insurance. I had a hospital that was very skilled at liver transplants. I had a strong support network of friends and family. I have stable housing. So everything was in my favor. Um, and then when they told me that the recovery was 2 weeks in the hospital, I decided I don't wanna be bored. I'm gonna take 3 ukuleles with me because 2 ukuleles is not enough. And my ukuleles are tuned with different tunings so that it makes it more interesting for me to play. The reason I have more than 1 ukulele is I have different tunings. And in the hospital, I was making YouTube music videos after my surgery, and the fun part was when a nurse would walk into the room, I'd say, "Do you wanna see my new music video?" And the nurse has never heard a liver transplant patient say that before, and I'm acting as if it's totally normal. I mean, it's totally normal to me. Now, some of the videos I actually shot myself. I didn't have family or friends shooting. There was times I wanted to make a video, and there was no family and friends, so I had to set up the camera across the room while I'm connected to, like, IV and everything. And so I was a filmmaker, and maybe that helped me get through the whole process, was that I was a musician and filmmaker at all times. When I wasn't in the surgery, I was a musician and filmmaker.
Yeah. And you know what? We're going to be coming back to that ukulele and ukulele 2 and ukulele 3 for sure. But I'm curious to know when you, after you said, okay, I'm going to document this, and that was part of the healing process, it sounds like for you. Who did you envision that the audience would be? And I would imagine that maybe after you, it was interesting hearing you refer to how the nurses would sort of react to your invitation that they watch your films as well. That maybe some of the medical community could have been some of the attended audience as well. I don't know. Let us know.
I made the film for anybody who was curious about the liver transplant process, because to me, it sounded scary ahead of time. But it is a pretty routine procedure. Even though it's major surgery, it's also routine major surgery. They've been doing liver transplants, I think, since the 1960s. So, and they told me at Georgetown Hospital, their success rate is something like 90 to 95%. So they told me that ahead of time. And if they would have told me that their success rate was 30%, I would have been thrilled, because my liver was failing. So 30% would be, wow, that's great. When they told me 90%, I said, are you kidding? That's a very, very high percentage. It just took all my fear away, you know?
Yeah.
They just withdrew all my fear. So I had no concerns going into the surgery. And they also told me I was a very good candidate. I don't drink any alcohol. I don't do drugs. I'm about as boring as you can get. And I don't have
Not
other
because ukuleles, you're not, but yes.
I don't have other medical conditions that would, I don't smoke. And so they told me that I was a very strong candidate for having a successful surgery. So that was 2 years ago. And I bounced back pretty strongly. It did take a long time to recover. Boy, it took me 6 months before I was back at work. You know, I thought I might be back at work in 3 months, but no, it takes a while for the body to recover.
Well, congratulations on your recovery. Just one more quick question, and I'll let Allison jump in here. I noted during your film you talked about how after the transplant you learned about the technology that would allow it to be an organ to be maintained longer, and that fact had such a potentially positive impact on a patient's experience, not needing to rush in the middle of the night for the transplant and that sort of thing. So as I was watching and listening, it struck me that you are a forever learner. I don't know whether you would characterize yourself that way, but that's how you came across to me. I'm so curious to know what you learned about the film process, having been through this experience and documented your personal story in this way.
I sort of wish I would have known about all of this ahead of time. It was kind of hinted at me when I first showed up at Georgetown that there was a good chance that I wouldn't wait a long time on the national organ transplant wait list. They didn't say so in so many words, but they kind of implied that the whole thing was quite doable. So they knew information at the hospital that I didn't know. So one of my reasons for making this film is that other people who are waiting for a liver transplant, who are in one of the cities that have this technology, not all cities have this technology, but quite a number of hospitals in the United States do. The technology was invented at Oxford University in England, and it was just approved by the FDA about 3 or 4 years ago. So I came along just at the time that that this would be approved by the FDA. So I lucked out in that respect.
Wonderful.
My questions are more technical related. How did you put this all together? So you're
The actual
going to.
film. Yeah, the film is, I'm both the subject of the film and the filmmaker. So I felt I needed to thank the company that invented the technology. So I sent them an email. When I got out of the hospital, I said, I need to thank you folks. And if you need a testimonial, I'm happy to give you a testimonial about a real life patient situation. And my testimonial happened to be pretty poignant because the same week as my liver transplant, I received this National Public Library Award. So it was quite a week for me, quite a heady week, because I don't think it's that common for people to get like an organ transplant and an award on the same week. But they had told me about the award back in January, even though the award was given to me in May on the magazine's website. I knew about the award ahead of time. And so it did make for an interesting human interest story that that this company, OrganOx, that is out of Oxford, England, they could use me as a patient testimonial. So I sent them an email and I told them I'd be happy to be in one of their videos if they wanted it. And they got back and they said that they would send out a video production crew. So the video production crew flew all the way from Oregon and they spent the day making a short film. They spent an entire day. As you know, with filmmaking, they shot more footage than they used. And they shot footage at my house and at my work. And I was very happy with the way it turned out. But it was amusing because I was both the subject of the film and I was the co-producer. So we would often chat about different segments, about whether they got the footage they needed and about the background. And we chatted about all the technical aspects of the film. Even though I was the subject of the film, I was also the filmmaker. So
That explains it. So I know you're a member of WIFV.
Yes.
What else do you do in the media making industry?
So I've been making media as a hobby, and sometimes a little bit professionally, for a long time. So I started uploading videos to the internet about 1994 with QuickTime 2.0. And so I've been a multimedia maker. I worked for the DC libraries and I was uploading videos to the web from the DC Public Library Literacy Office in 1996. And so when YouTube came along, I said, wow, I don't have to pay for my hosting anymore, because typically I would pay for web hosting. So I said, this is really nice. I don't have to pay for web hosting. So I'm interested in media making because it brings voice to people, and voice means dignity. And it lets more stories be told, because so many stories never get to be told that ought to be told. And so somebody suggested I join Women in Film and Video. A man I know said, this is a great organization with very talented people, and they allow men to join. So I joined saying to myself, I'm joining this group, but my purpose is to see if I can support the group, if I can contribute more than I withdraw. So that's what I try to do. I try to contribute, even though I benefited a lot from other members in the organization. I try to contribute more than I withdraw, you know? So that's how things work when we're successful in organizations. We need people to say, my purpose is to support the organization, and I might benefit too, but the number one priority should always be like the support.
Yeah. That is incredible. We're so grateful to you, Phil, for that, for your support of WIFV.
And I am inspired by Melissa, who's quite incredible.
Oh, well, yes, our executive director absolutely is. Yes. We just have a very short period of time left, but we got to ask, when did the ukulele enter the chat? That is your life.
Oh, you got one right there. So I've been a longtime guitar player, about 50 years. I started exploring the ukulele about 4 or 5 years ago because it's an instrument of change. It's an instrument of uplift. George Harrison believed in the ukulele, and he was the wisest of the Beatles. He used to give away ukuleles from the trunk of his car. He'd just hand them out to anybody. So I figured he might be onto something. And when I started exploring it, I plateaued with my guitar playing. I didn't want to become advanced. I'm a strong intermediate player, but I don't want to be advanced. It takes too much effort, and it doesn't bring me a benefit. I play guitar just for the enjoyment. It's not really my livelihood. So I started exploring the ukulele, and I really love exploring all the possibilities. I'm constantly learning new things, and I try lots of different tunings on the ukulele, just like Joni Mitchell taught us that different tunings can be a whole new landscape of music. So I try different tunings quite often on different ukuleles.
Incredible. Thank you so much.
Inspired to take it up, and I think we have the beginnings of a WIFV ukulele band, so we'll be in touch.
That'd be great.
It's also one in my home, Phil. I don't know how to play it, but this is in the other room.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Phil. It was great to talk to you, and we wish you the best.
Thank you so much, Phil. Take care.
All right.
Wow, that was a lot of fun.
It is. And so, speaking of fun, there is something that we have in WIFV called the Media Maker Spotlight. And it is a podcast with an amazing production crew and hosts who interview all kinds of media makers. And I've listened and learned so much. And we're going to go ahead and go to a video about the Media Makers podcast.
Are you looking for a great podcast about film, TV, and other screen-based media production? Well, you found it. We're your hosts. I'm Candace Block.
I'm Sandra Abrams. And I'm Tara Jabari.
We bring you conversations with all kinds of media production professionals, including award-winning directors, producers, screenwriters, designers, and more. We explore production roles and the entire industry.
With guests from across the country and around the world, with media makers who take you into the room where the production magic happens. So you just picked up the phone and called Aretha? Is that what happened, Regina?
I was like the rent the Prius way back in the day when we had to fly somewhere for production.
It was really wonderful finding that audience and finding an audience that was so engaged in the subject matter of the film.
The list of best ones.
That one,
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
That one was interesting.
Love that movie.
And it's really, really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it 4 times.
Tara,
Wow.
you like animation, just not all
I
animation.
do not like animation.
But that's the thing, she doesn't like animation. How could you when you've seen
If
that
you've
4
seen-
times?
It's a very human thing. We all want to find connection and to find people in
Die
love.
Hard.
And yeah, exactly. I mean, you know,
Die Hard, there's not a Christmas movie.
It is
Die
a
Hard
Christmas
is a Christmas
movie.
movie. And to our listeners, we love you for listening. And if you ever want to hear a subject that we haven't covered,
Yeah,
or you want to suggest a topic or anything or something you want to hear more of,
You can write into podcast@wif.org. We would love to hear from you.
Thanks, everyone.
you can find Media Maker Spotlight wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes drop every other Sunday.
I love that. Hi, Tara. How you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you? It is a
I am
Christmas movie.
great. We are on stage now, and Wow, that was so much fun. I enjoy seeing the film of our membership.
Yeah.
And it's all so inspiring. You've got a new set of hosts now. Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sherry Raddick Stroud. I'm a board member of Women in Film and Video. Been a member since the early 2000s. Oops, you know my age now, kind of. I'm an actress, producer, director, and as it says on my business card, all around great gal. Tara, let's hear from you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tara Jabari. I'm one of the rotating hosts of Media Maker Spotlight, this one, and I'm a WIFV board member. I work a lot in producing, especially in documentaries and podcasting and social media marketing. But before we go to the next film, I wanted to check a look at the thermometer and see how we're doing with because we just got a new donation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
anonymous
actually,
person.
we're not going to look at the thermometer. I think there's some technical things, but you could do that little QR code. It's really great. And then I think also, if anything, just go to wif.org/donate.
Yes, if something's wrong with the camera on your phone, you don't have to use just the QR code. You can dial right in or go right to WIFV.org, and we're there for you.
So, Sherry, do you want to introduce the next theme?
I do. We have another member's work. It's a film by Mackenzie Galloway, and unfortunately, Mackenzie's traveling today, so she's not with us in person, but she's with us in spirit. Right after her film, we have a video from her so you can get to know her. The film we're going to be watching is called Whatever Makes Us Happy. And the background info about it, forgive me as I read this. After their abuelo's death, 3 estranged sisters discovered they'd inherited a property left jointly in their names. Their clashing dreams and unresolved tensions as they struggle to decide its fate and rebuild their fractured bonds. So let's take a look at Mackenzie's film, and we'll hear from her right after.
So, what should we do with it?
I don't know. What would Abuelo want?
I think he would want us to do whatever makes us happy.
And did he make you in charge when he passed, or have you been doing all that Santeria stuff to communicate with them?
Stop worrying about me and worry about your badass kids and boring ass husband always stressing you out.
And of course you would take everything to the extreme, but look, I love my family. Plus, you stay preaching love, light, and joy. Deep down inside, you're just a little bitter bitch.
You know what?
Sorry, I'm late, sisters. My private jet from Seychelles was delayed.
And which sugar mama flew you out this time?
I will have you know, I was there on my own merit for the launch of my new couture line, Seychelles Suave.
Ooh, congratulations, sis.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, when is my makeover exactly? Soon, because you need one. Are you okay?
No, actually.
So, what are we doing with this space?
Well, we were just talking.
I already have the blueprint for a high-end boutique. Of course, I would share all the profits with you all. We could sell my newest line. I could expand to designer handbags, accessories. Oh,
Well, I already make jewelry, so we could sell that.
See, your jewelry isn't exactly the vibe of my brand.
It could be a speakeasy then. The outside could be a little shop with some of my jewelry, some of your clothes, some books, and then we could turn this into a bookshelf that would lead into a 70s Afrofuturist glam-inspired speakeasy. I could live out my chanteuse dreams. The celestial decor and lights would put everyone in a trance.
So you want everyone to come to our establishment and get high?
Duh.
Yeah, absolutely not. That is not what Abdullah wanted. He wanted us to do things that actually help people because that's actually what he did in his life. But I'm thinking, this right here, we can so turn this into a gastroenterology clinic that's specifically catered to the disabled elders. As noble but gross as that sounds, you're the only one here qualified to do that kind of work.
I got it. We could open an art gallery that features artists and art pieces from the diaspora.
I love that. We could donate the proceeds to the disabled elders. Yes.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Excuse me. Suarez sisters?
Yes, Dave. Dave, yes.
I'm so sorry, but I'm afraid there's been a mistake. Your guys' property is actually next door.
Ugh.
So I was inspired to make it because I was asked to direct the Charm City Filmmakers film, and we had 3 hours to make it. So the film was all done in 3 hours. We rehearsed, we shot, and we put it together in like 5 days. So it was a lot of fun. I knew the space that I was going to be working with, so I thought it would be fun to do some animation because I knew that the studio was new and empty, so we could kind of play with the space in the script as well as on the screen. It is screened in Baltimore with Charm City Filmmakers. We've had 2 formal screenings for it, and we're starting the festival circuit. We were just screened at the Ohio Valley Film Festival in West Virginia. So this is our 5th screening, which is super exciting. Our target audience is literally anyone, especially people who like a little bit of fantasy, people who have estranged relationships with their family members, because that's kind of the core of it. It was shot in Baltimore at the Charm City Studio last January. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoys. I hope that they can resonate with the characters. That's kind of the point. They're each different, and I wanted someone to see themselves. It's kind of like my 3 personalities, or even my 3 sisters, kind of. So yeah, I'm super excited for you all to watch the film. I hope you enjoy. It was a lot of fun to make. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
That was lovely.
There I go. Sorry, I had myself on mute. I love Mackenzie. I know her. We've had dinner together a few times. She is just so vibrant and energetic. I did forget when we came back to tell you, we're talking about themes for different segments of the telethon. Tara and I are on the theme of family connections.
Yes.
So that felt
That
right
obviously.
in with that theme.
Yeah.
So what's our next one, Tara?
The next one is called Disconnected by Robin Farmer. It's about a young techie discovers artificial intelligence is no match for real human connection. So let's take a look at that one.
Sounds great.
Hey bro, could you please let go of the damn thing for a second? I want to put some sense in that pointy head of yours.
Hey Sarah, how many calories does an egg white and spinach omelet have?
Let me have a look. Here's some information.
Thank you, dear.
I live to serve.
You want to hook up later?
Interesting question, Eamon.
Are you seriously addicted to that damn thing? Why can't you sext nude pictures like a normal dude? Next to Anthony Weiner, you look like Anthony Perkins, psycho. Hey, does Mimi know that you're cheating on her with this smartphone? Me and Mrs. Phone. We got a thing going on.
That's funny. Well, my infatuation with 21st century beats your obsession with your parents' 1970s record collection. Bit late to audition for Soul Train, don't you think?
Bro, seriously, this Sarah thing is messing up with your brain. Does Mimi realize that you prefer artificial intelligence over a real...
Rob, you of all people will understand the power of a sexy voice. Sarah, or S when she gets nasty, does the same thing for me that Sade does for you.
Dude, she ain't human.
Hey cutie, just checking in to see how your morning is going. Oh, what time are you picking me up for dinner tonight? Okay, call me.
So what's up with Mr. Big Bang Theory that he can't pick up the phone?
Girl, I have no idea where this relationship is going. I mean, he's gotten to the point that he barely talks to me. We hardly see each other. I don't know, he's just being weird, even for him.
You don't think he's messing around, do you?
I would have never expected Mr. Nerdy Tech Guy to be the cheating type, but now I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Please say or press the last 4 digits of your account number.
5464.
For balance, press 1. For transactions, press 2. For statement, press 3.
The fuck?
Thank you for calling Bank of America. How may I help you?
Yes, my card was declined. I would like to report a fraudulent charge.
I'm sorry, sir. What is the disputed amount and date?
March 14th, $1,399, diamond earrings.
Thank you. Hold, please. you for your patience. We checked the source of the charge and it was made from your mobile device. Does anyone else have access to your phone and credit card information?
Absolutely not. How is this possible? This has to be identity theft.
Whoever made the transaction knows the answers to your security questions. We can set aside this purchase until we complete our investigation.
Okay, that's fine. I'll pay the $15 fee to get the card in the next 3 days. Same address. Thank you. Bye. Babe, you scared the hell out of me.
Oh, why are you so jumpy?
I'm not jumpy. What's up?
I knew I would find you here. What time are you going to dinner tonight? I hear the food is really good.
8 o'clock? Yeah, 8 p.m.
Okay. Pick me up early, okay? Let's not be late for a change.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Call Nicole.
What's up, honey?
Hey girl, I think I know why Eamon has been acting so weird lately. I just saw him in his car on his phone, and get this, somebody made a purchase from my favorite jewelry store. All I saw was the word diamonds, but I just acted like I didn't see anything.
Oh, girl. He got you the bling for your anniversary. Tonight's the night. I bet he's a nervous wreck.
Oh, he really is.
Bro, thank you for getting us in tonight. I totally forgot. I owe you one. All right, man. Hey, Sarah, would you marry me? Come on, talk dirty to me.
Why should I? Are you taking me to dinner?
Sarah, don't you know diamonds are a girl's best friend?
Interesting question, Eamon.
Good evening. Welcome to our establishment. Can I get you something to drink?
I'll take a IPA, not too hot.
Oh, beer? Why don't we get a bottle of bubbly?
Sure.
Two is company, three is a crowd. Can we please just have one evening together where you're not cozying up next to your phone?
That's dirty.
Is that supposed to be funny?
What?
Get off the phone!
Mimi.
I'm melting.
Where you going?
What? Still no calls from her? Well, Mr. Programmer Extraordinaire. She was never real in the first place. She was an AI voice recognition system in your phone. Now that's the kind of a relationship that's doomed from the beginning, don't you think? You must be inhaling microchip dust at work, Mr. Techie.
But Rob, that's the thing. I haven't thought about Sarah since the day Mimi gave her a bubble bath. I'm not missing Sarah on the phone. I'm missing Mimi.
Oh. Did you give her a call?
Straight to voicemail. I don't even know if she even got a text since I haven't had the phone replaced.
Cold turkey, huh?
Yeah. Look, man, I gotta go. I'm running late. I never felt more naked without my phone than I do with clothes on.
But it was more than that, right?
I mean, yeah, it was weird. Like the phone had a mind of its own. It was the first thing that I touched in the morning, and the last thing that I touched at night. I never felt so alive with it.
So, like, do you, like, miss it?
Bro, I don't. Being separate from the phone made me realize who was missing. It was Mimi.
Go get what's real, bro.
So quaint. I hardly get any snail mail since I went paperless.
It's from Eamon. He wants to meet.
Weird. I barely recognized his handwriting. I mean, we always talk through phone or text.
What's that fool talking about? Tell him to go have sex with an android.
He says he has a landline now.
So he wrote this in cursive, and you can read it. Both y'all weird.
Okay, maybe. But I do know one thing. I miss the guy I fell in love with.
I messed up. I programmed the AI to have a personality. I didn't know she was going to get jealous.
She called me a fat cow.
I know. And I'm sorry. Can you forgive me?
Do cows moo?
I know you have concerns about me and cell phone, but let me answer it with one ring. Mimi, I have my hang-ups. I do. But I'll do anything that you ask. So if that's the case with landlines and payphones, I'll do it. You are my one true and only love. So what I'm saying is, marry me. Please marry me.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Gotta call Rob. What? No texting, no internet, no data. Alexander Graham Bell be ashamed of this phone bag. Yo, Rob, get that tux out the mothballs. She said yes.
Congrats, dude! I'll do that. Oh my god. Hey, Sarah. How you doing? I'm doing fine. You know, my place, chilling, all alone. You alone too? Nice. So, what do you do when you're alone? I like to do stuff. Oh, you do stuff too? How about we do stuff to each other? Oh, Sarah, you're so funny. No. I love it. I love to give and receive. Yeah. Quality time. That's one of my love languages. But you know, words of moaning, affirmation. Yeah. Touch.
I'm still laughing. I am still laughing. I love it when things are happening during the crawl, so that
Yeah.
you've got the crawl, the credits, but then there's other little things happening. Laughing my head off.
Oh, my favorite part, the last part, touch.
Yeah. So I think we're very fortunate to have the filmmaker here with us now that we can chat with. Robin, there you are. Hi. Robin, I think that was just such a fun film.
Thank you.
Thank you for submitting it so we could see it. Tell us a little bit. Why was this film created? Was it a class project? Were you doing a 48 for festivals? Tell us a little bit more.
So my husband and I, Mike, we actually wrote this way back like around 2007 when Garmin was real popular. And we got the idea because I was visiting my mom in Philadelphia and the Garmin told us to keep straight. And for some reason, we were going down a dark road. For some reason, I can't tell you why, although God takes care of babies and fools. Pause. And it's a good thing because if we had gone straight, it was a cliff. And we looked at each other and we said, we used to call the Garmin Mini Driver. Mini Driver just tried to kill us.
Oh,
And so we started talking about it and we came up with the idea of someone falling in love with the AI and the AI being jealous of the girlfriend. But this predates her, which came out in 2013. You know, so it's kind of like the ideals were percolating in the universe.
Love it. Love it. You just answered my next question, which was, were you writing this from experience? And it says you did. Yeah. So tell us a little bit. Do you have your did you do you have your own production crew? Do you have to gather a production crew whenever you're doing films? Give us a little bit of background. Where did you find the actors? I thought they were great.
So that was my second film. And I worked with someone named Adam Lapala. Well, a creative community down here. And he helped me assemble the cast and the crew. And he's my right hand person on my screen, on my productions. So that's how that happened. But I also did it because I'm director of a group called the Virginia Screenwriters Forum. For 36 years, we have helped emerging and veteran screenwriters elevate their scripts. But in recent years, we're getting folks to produce and direct their own shorts. Because the idea of selling a screenplay is like winning a lottery, right? So put it up on the screen yourself. So to that end, we have a showcase. And so when I did this for our showcase, it won award, which was nice, right? But we're about to have our 5th showcase this summer.
Oh, that's exciting.
Excellent. Tara, did you have some questions for Robin?
No, I mean, you're answering a lot of them because I think it's always a timeless thing from 2007. This was made in 2023 and it's still relevant. So it's just been really cool to see. And it's just that has that humor and all you had a really great prediction of how things could go wrong.
As far as the humor, I think both of you know by now I'm kind of silly, right? So I like
Well,
humor.
that's one of the things we love about you, Robin. Robin, by the way, is also on the board of Women in Film and Video. We're excited that she is. Yeah, Robin, I did have another question. So you've created this film, I think it said 2023. Was that correct? All right. So where have you been screening it? And when you complete a film, what future do you see for it?
So my first film was for the 48-hour film festival. We had a house fire, so I no longer have access to that, right? So I was eager to make more films. I've had these 2 films show at the VSF showcase. I have to tell you, I entered Disconnected in several film festivals and I got no bites. So I kind of put it away, which I know I'm not supposed to do. And so when I saw this, I said, well, this is an opportunity to submit it again. So that's how it came to be. But right now I'm working on my 4th short. It's a concept short and it's based on my novel, Malcolm and Me. And we will start shooting that this week coming up. And I'm going to put that baby in as many film festivals as I can.
That's so exciting. And actually, do you want to you're also our EVP for Executive Vice President of the WIFV this year. Do you want to share a little bit more about your position and what that means?
Yes, I became a board member of the organization because in 2023, I got a fellowship. I got one of the script narrative development fellowships. And even before the program started, I was like, how can I give back to this organization, right? Because I didn't know all the things that it offers, like 200 plus different programming events and bringing together visionary women. And speaking of visionary women, we have the annual Women of Vision program where we celebrate 3 very accomplished women. That's going to happen
April 23rd.
April 23rd.
April 23rd. Little prompting back here.
a little prompting, and I'm hoping people come out, especially women. We love men, but this is a time where some gains for women are kind of being challenged, and I think that's a night to not only honor those 3 visionary women, but to honor each other and kind of gather in a sisterhood because we kind of need it right now. We kind of
absolutely. Robin, it was so great talking with you. We've got to do this again. Maybe we'll go for coffee. But thank you.
Watch Malcolm and Me as well. Thank you so much. And we also we've been seeing a lot of the banners showing a lot more support for the telethon. Thank you so much for all your donations. Wow. Thank you so much, Peter, for your $200 donation. That's very, very generous. And remember, it is tax deductible.
Tara, that we haven't really talked about that. And if I may jump in, forgive me, but
of course.
Women in Film and Video is a 501c3 organization, meaning your donations are tax deductible. However, I'm going to caveat that please check with your tax expert and confirm that's good for you, right for you. But as a 501c3 organization, donations to us are tax deductible. So remember
Yes.
that.
So, Sherry, do you want to introduce the next film that we're going to be watching?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tara. So we are, as we've spoken before, we have themes for each films, and we are on the theme of space and sky. And our next video is Telethon and Beyond. Let me give you a little intro in it. And it is about a historic pink clubhouse in Vermont, one of my favorite places. It holds 100 plus years of amateur telescope making. It is the key to the development of astronomy, optics, and space science around the world. So let's sit back and enjoy this fabulous film about space.
The best optics in the world are done with two hands, not with machines, not with computers, not with any of that.
For more than 100 years, the Springfield telescope makers have been leading the way to perfect the art and science of making optics to observe the night sky.
And there's been, a lot of incredible people that have come through here that have gone off to do wonderful things in science and help society out.
The feather in my cap for my career was the making of 6 infrared telescopes for the Voyager spacecraft.
So I have 2 lenses flying out into interstellar space myself. It's like, yeah, I can't believe this.
One day, boss comes to me, Al, how would you like to design the visual simulator optics that are going to train our astronauts to land on the moon? It's not bad for an amateur astronomer.
I just think there's something so cool and so special about being able to look at an instrument that you made with your hands, and you know that instrument, you know the optics, and you know this piece of art that you've made, because making telescopes really is an art form. And I think it's really important to keep that alive.
Members of the club have gone on to work on some of the most important projects for NASA, the military, and the CIA. From designing the biggest telescope in the world in the 1930s and 40s, to making it possible to land on the moon and explore space objects to the edge of our solar system and beyond.
That is the trailer, and we are also going to watch, that's the trailer for Telethon and Beyond, but we're also going to watch the trailer next for Defending the Dark, also from filmmaker Tara Roberts-Zabriskie. So the Defending the Dark is about the story of protecting the dark skies, the dark sky areas of Maine, the last such areas in the U.S. east of the Rocky Mountains, and what we can do in our own backyards to bring back the night sky. So let's take a look at that.
I moved back home to Maine, the coast of Maine, in the early 2000s. And one night I got out of the car and looked up and was like, oh my gosh, the Milky Way. The stars were so bright and the sky was so black. It was an awe moment. If you look at a light pollution map, you can see in the state of Maine this big dark spot, which is the place where there's little light pollution, and you can see the Milky Way, and you can see stars here that you can't see on most of the East Coast. This area surrounding Katahdin has the largest areas of dark sky east of the Mississippi River.
So dark sky preservation, which sounds like it's about bringing the stars back, which it does, is really about a much bigger issue. The real problems cover many different areas. One is if you live in a light polluted area, you are at increased risk of breast or prostate cancer because it affects your body chemistry. Pollination, which we desperately need. It's not just for pretty flowers and trees, but your food has to be pollinated. That can be lowered by as much as 60% in areas that are light polluted. And Americans, believe it or not, spend $3 billion a year paying for electricity to put on lighting that's going up in the sky. So we really are at a crossroads right now with lighting. If we keep going the way we're going, the stars are going to go away. We're going to see fewer and fewer bird and insect species, more pollution, more glare, more issues. Flip side, people wake up to this and go, oh, this is a real problem. It's an easy fix and I save money. I'm in, let's do that. And everybody goes and does that.
I hope that the amount of light that's coming from this region stays consistent, if not, is diminished over time.
It means for the future that we stay connected to ourselves and our environment.
And to really understand that we don't own it, we don't control it, but we have a tremendous impact on it.
If you eliminate a light, or you redirect a light, or you change the color of that light bulb, the result is you get to see the dark skies immediately.
People come and step out of their cars and look up and go, oh my gosh. And the wonder and the awe, that's really what it's about.
And I also hope that the people that come here to see the dark skies take that experience and that information and take it home with them.
We want to save the stars.
We are back.
Yes. So we'll talk to Tara Zabrinsky, not me, a little later. But first, we wanted to share a couple of things, including what it means to have a WIFV membership. Things with a WIFV membership, you get a lot of networking opportunities. You get first access to a lot of job openings, job boards, discount codes, mentorship programs, lots of different programs, and most of all, a big community. One of those programs, and a big community, a family that you find is the 48-hour team, which Sherry, you've been involved in quite a few times. Can you share more about that?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Absolutely. So, the 48-hour film project is what it is called, is an annual film competition where teams get together and in 48 hours, and I mean just 48 hours, they write, film, edit, and complete a movie. I'm thrilled to share that this started in Washington, D.C. I think it's on its 26th year now, and it is worldwide. It's in different cities, different weekends. What happens is the teams meet Friday night at a central location. We pull out of a jar our genre, so you don't know ahead what you're going to be writing about. Will it be a comedy? Will it be a mystery? Will it be a drama? Will it be a musical? Believe it or not. And then once you find that out Friday night, you have a team of writers standing by who you call and go, hello, we got musical, do something. And they start writing, and hopefully by about 11 o'clock Friday night, you've got a script, and then your actors come in early Saturday morning. You're filming Saturday afternoon. The editor comes in and starts editing things, and then hopefully you're done by a decent hour Saturday, and then all day Sunday you continue to edit, and then Sunday at 5 o'clock, around there, 5:30, you have to have your film done and submitted. And what we're about to do is to show you two of the 48-hour films that we did in Women in Film and Video. The first one was done, HOA was just last year.
Yeah.
So 2025, and it's called HOA versus UFO. And the background is, I should know it by heart, but the background is no, that's the wrong one. Community, here we go. I was about to do the other one. I love them both so much. Okay. When neighbors get wind of hostile aliens, invaders, heading their way, they band together to learn to fight. But is the alien friend or foe? Keep in mind, this was put together in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Virginia residents have reported numerous sightings of a large, mysterious drone circling the city of Old Town. While authorities initially investigated the sightings and believed it to be an unauthorized recreational drone, the FAA has identified alien communication signals coming from the craft.
Mom! What? That drone is a UFO!
Government interpreter Maxine Ricoman is on location in Virginia. What she has heard has raised concerns and speculation about potential threats to the citizens on the ground. Maxine?
Thank you for having me, Taylor. The first message that we've received from the aliens is beep, beep, which I have been able to interpret as we cannot wait to eat you splendid creatures. Back to you, Taylor.
Girls, it's time to put your martial arts training to good use.
So it is the first Tuesday of every month, and we just have to make sure that people are coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think... Catherine! Allison! Stop! Did you hear about the aliens?
No, I heard they're still at least a few light years away.
Did they update the ETA? They're coming today, and they're gonna eat us. Turn us into food!
Oh my God. What?
I hate you! I'm sorry, allergies. They're really bad this year.
What, the aliens?
No, allergies. Oh. Get your stuff. Come back to my house. We're gonna fight them.
The allergies?
No,
the aliens.
we're gonna save our HOA. Get your stuff. We're gonna save our HOA. Okay. Grab whatever you can. Grab shovels, grab sticks. We're gonna smack them. We're gonna beat them. We're gonna save our HOA. You won't even believe it. We got so much good stuff.
God.
Hand,
yeah? Yes, we're gonna use it as a
Girl, you go.
Oh no, no. This is what I could use to save the world. It is gonna be me. It's gonna be me. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Look, they're coming! What? What? What?
What?
Guys, I think the alien's peaceful.
I'd like to make a slight adjustment to my earlier interpretation that the alien said beep, beep, not beep, which means we cannot wait to meet you splendid creatures, not eat you. Oh.
Hi, Tara.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's
Welcome
good to join you here. That was super fun. So I'm excited to introduce another 48-hour project film, Murder on the 31st. Let's watch as a Halloween party turns into a mystery.
Marshall Wilkins, my friend. How you doing?
I told you not to come here tonight.
Well, I couldn't stay away from a good party. Nice digs, Marshall. Wait, who are you? I'm a Skoker buddy. What?
Marshall, you told me to quit. Marshall. Marshall. Oh, Marshall.
I'll get your money. I just...
Marshall.
Marshall! He's dead!
He's dead?
Oh, Marshall, don't leave me! What happened? How should I know what happened, Adrian? I'm not a real doctor.
Calling 911. Come quickly, we've got a man down.
He's not down, he's dead.
What do you mean it's Halloween?
It's your fault.
you to stop seeing
And
him.
who are
I
you?
told you.
I
knew something was going to happen.
You calm down. He owes
you. Nothing.
Calm down. He owes you money? What?
It could be any one of us.
Who are you?
Listen, we work together, Marshall and I, at Southwest Airlines.
And how do we know you didn't kill him?
Why would I have any reason to do that? I was over talking to Joel.
Why, don't bring me into this. I could never do something like that.
All right, until the police arrive, nobody is leaving. I'm taking over this investigation. What's your name?
Me? Catherine.
Catherine, you're first. Joel, come with me. Let's go.
I just can't believe he's dead.
You knew he was sleeping with Joel. The bastard. He deserved this.
Well, sure, but did you see how Joel was?
He just had to rub it in my face.
Just keeps humiliating me, even from beyond the grave.
Gail, you're next.
So what does she want to know?
Just some typical detective questions. Like, how did I know him? And did I have any reason to kill him? That sort of thing.
And how is it that you know Marshall again?
Honestly, he owed me a lot of money.
I guess you're not getting any of that now.
I have my ways.
Adrian.
Why did you let him keep gambling?
Why did you let him keep cheating?
That is none of your business.
It is my business. Look, if you hadn't knocked him off, I would have been able to collect the money he owed me.
If you didn't want to hire a hitman, you never should have given me the phone number.
Don't worry. I'm still collecting on that.
We've talked to all the suspects.
Yes, and they all had the motive to kill my beloved Marshall.
Catherine had every reason to hate him. He owed her a fortune.
But why would she knock off her best client?
That's true. So that leaves Gail and Adrian.
Oh, no, Adrian couldn't have done it.
He had every motive. He knew about your affair with Marshall.
He talks a big game, but Adrian couldn't use an electric zapper to kill houseflies because he felt sorry for them. The bitch definitely did it.
Normally, I wouldn't trust your bias in this scenario, but in this case, I think you're onto something. While Gail was doing other things, I lifted her phone. Check this out, dear Watson. Shall we?
Yeah.
Gather around, everyone. I've been diligently interviewing each of you individually with my intrepid sidekick, Joel. And what I have deduced is that though each of you wanted Marshall dead, only one of you made the effort to do so tonight. It was Gail.
No.
No. Yeah. Marshall was cheating with Joel, bleeding money to Catherine, but Gail was mad.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
That I couldn't kill him
Myself!
The cops, they're here!
No! No!
How can I ever repay you for solving Marshall's murder?
It was my pleasure.
Oh!
Let's go. Boss, yeah, it's me. Yeah, I took care of him. Let's just say Marshall won't be squealing to the feds about Boeing's emergency doors anymore.
What fun film, huh, Tara?
Yeah, I love a good twist.
Yes, me too. And all done in 48 hours. Wild. Let's welcome our filmmakers, Tara Zabriskie, whom we're calling Tara Z, the filmmaker behind both Cellophane and Beyond and Defending the Dark. As well as, let's see, we're also going to bring in Sherry Reddick Stroud and Sandra Brennan. Sandra's for HOA, the UFO, and Sherry's for Murder on the 31st. We've got a nice full house here, which is, we're going to have a lot of fun on this block. Tara, do you want to kick it off with Tara Z?
Yes, sure. I first of all, great name. And I wanted to know what was your inspiration, or how did you get interested in astronomy and the sky? Because both of your films both of your documentaries are going to concentrate on those.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always had a strong connection to astronomy and just nature in general, actually. So when I was a kid, I spent a lot of nights just sleeping out under the stars in my sleeping bag, and so I got really interested in just learning about space. But then I got connected with through another project. It was a nature oriented project. Somebody saw my work and said, "Hey, I really like what you're doing with the it was on Leave No Trace for hikers."
Mm.
And he said, "Oh, I really like what you're doing there. Could you come to Maine or New Hampshire where we're doing all this work about dark sky preservation
Mm.
and do a film on educating people on why it is important to protect the night sky and how the lights are affecting us?" Um, so yeah, so I did that one back in started filming in 2021, and then was finished in 2022. And when I finished that, it was actually the same person I worked with there introduced me to the Stellafane group, and then we got started on that project. So that project is still in process, but I'm close to finishing that up in the edit right now. So
Nice. And how can we learn more about, at least watching Defending the Dark Skies, and then how do we learn about the progress of Stellafane?
yeah, so you can find out everything on my website, mooseyproductions.com, Moosey. And I have links to the Defending the Dark is on PBS. So there's actually a link there. You can go and watch Defending the Dark, and it's set up to do a community screening. So if you want to show it in your community, in your town, we can do that. And then I'll also be posting updates on Stellafane as that comes to completion for the summer.
Thank you.
Wow, that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Look forward to being able to follow along the progress there. I'm going to turn to Sandra first to talk a little bit about HOA, the UFO. This is Sherry. We'll get to you in just a moment, but we're welcoming Sandra here. We want to make sure we have some plenty of time for her. So for this 48-hour film, Sandra, the title alone is just absolutely fantastic. But how did the concept come about for HOA UFO? What about it?
So, first I want to thank Tara Z for doing a documentary on Defending the Dark. So when we did 48 Hours, we had a sort of a comic view of how we could use our 48-hour frame in a lighthearted manner. So I'm glad we're having a different view of what Defending the Dark could be like. So the 48-hour team that I was on was directed by Robin Noonan Price. I have been on and off, been a 48-hour team member. My first time, someone said, "Look, we need an audio person. Bring every mic you have." And the night before, I was trying to get a boom mic and a lavalier mic and a cavalier mic and all the kinds of mics that I could possibly think would be needed on a story I have no idea, what we would do.
Yeah.
And that night or the night before I was supposed to come, they drew our category. It was silent film. I didn't need the money. So I had a lot of good fun and experienced what it was like to be on 48 hours. So if you have an idea that you want to be a writer, well, here you have an opportunity to be in a writer's room. And if you're a member of WIFV, well, then you're going to be, playing and writing with very experienced writers. And then you have the opportunity to actually make it in 48 hours. If you want to be a producer, okay, get all those forms, find out what the rules are, get everybody's release, follow through, and submit on time. That's a producer's role. So HOA was a homeowners association versus UFOs. One neighbor defended their neighbors from unknowns, and my role was very supportive. I was assistant director on that one. I was sort of the B unit we had a few drone shots. A drone went over the neighbor's fence, and one of my duties was to try to collect it. So duties vary, but working on the film, I was actually so happy to work with a very talented DP who's also a member of Women in Film. So some of the opening shots and the way the film worked out, it's cut so well, and it was just a great opportunity. So, Shonda, I don't know if I answered your questions, but
Yeah, no,
that's
that
what
was
I
great.
can tell you about my experience on the 48-hour team.
Well, first of all, we just saw you just referenced the GP, and we just saw a note from him pop up. Andy, the filmmaker, I believe, and that was awesome to see. But I have to say, just hearing you talk about the experience sounds like collaboration and education. And I mean, I'm interested. You like
Yeah,
you
I
sold
mean,
me. I want to do
you
whatever it
know,
takes.
that's the great thing about WIFV, that it's
Yeah.
ongoing learning, professional development. I have a background in producing educational media. I don't have a background in producing original narrative film, but I'm very interested in doing it, and I can sort of learn new things. So, I do hope anybody who's listening and they're new to the organization that to WIF, that they would explore the benefits of membership and be part of the 48-hour team.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It sounds amazing.
You'll learn a
I have
lot.
one more quick question. I think maybe you already answered it when you were making a comment to Tara Z about her documentary, and you referenced this film having sort of a comedic feel. But I was actually wondering whether you thought it was more of a comedy or sci-fi satire, or
Well,
is there any real difference between the two?
well, you can. I can't answer the last part of that, but we drew science fiction,
Yeah.
so that was the parameter of our submission. But we have a lot of goofy people on the team who like comedy. And
Yeah.
so we sort of took the theme and ran it the way we wanted to do it. Uh, Sherry can speak more to it because she really was the captain last year and sort of led the team and said, we have good ideas, let the writers write. We have great performers. And again, Andy, who was the cinematographer, was so thoughtful on how the shots would work. We had someone who volunteered their edit time. So, considering it was a 48-hour effort, I was really, I was pleased to be part of it. And it was great fun. At the end, you go to the AFI and everybody's there and they tell their war stories and they tell
Yeah.
their, and it's filmmaking.
Yes, a blast. It sounds like it. And Sherry, would love to get more of your take on that 48-hour experience. You shared a lot of great details in introducing this block. But also want to certainly get a little bit of your insight about Murder on the 31st. And here again, we got a great title and a Halloween party turning into a mystery. What a great setup. We'd love to know what the thinking was behind that. And because you were in Bats in the Belfry, which was one of the first films we saw this afternoon. And if memory serves, that was based on a true story. I want to know if this was based on a true story.
Not to my knowledge, to be honest. No, it was not. But then again, I was not in the writer's room when they were doing the script. So somebody could have said, hey, this happened to me. Yeah, with the 48, Friday, I believe I went to the central zone on that one also, and I pulled out science fiction and something else, and the writers decided to combine it with let's see, well, we pull out two genres on one piece of paper, and you can do either one. So the writers just decided that it would be fun to do something Halloweeny.
Mhm.
um there was the availability of costumes. You can't write ahead of time, but you can pull things together to get ideas from once you pull your genre. And I think it was Sharon Sobel who said, "Oh, I've got tubs full of Halloween stuff. Let's see if, if you want to do something around that." And bless her heart, we filmed at her house, and she had all this tubs of Halloween stuff. By the way, that year we won best costumes out of the DC whole group. So that was fun. And we ran with it. The writers put this whole Halloween party together, and we did it. We had great actors standing by, called them at midnight, gave them their parts, sent them their costumes, their not the costumes, sent them their scripts, and we went from there.
I absolutely love it. Just one more super duper quick question, because we're running a little short on time, but I have to know your experience in a mystery. Do you think the short film format was a challenge or a benefit to telling a mystery story?
I think it's a challenge personally. You don't have time to create the storyline. You've got to condense it. But I think if you look at a lot, oh, I'm going to get shot down for this. But if you look at a lot of feature films where things are dragged out too long, and
Mhm.
if you cut it down, it would make for a better story.
Yeah.
Also, when you're limited, 48-hour limits you to a maximum 7-minute film, and then you have 1 minute for credits. So no matter what you're saying, you've got to do it in a 7-minute film. It's challenging,
Yeah.
whether it's a mystery, whether it's a drama, whether it's a comedy, but
Well, you
that's
guys did a
that's the fun of it all.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That was
thank you
excellent.
guys. It was really great talking to all three of you. And thank you so much for sharing a little bit more of your background. We're almost we have less than an hour to the
Mm.
telethon. And we still have two more really great films because we have a new theme, seeing things. Should we just get straight to the next film? And then we'll
Yeah. Let's do it.
let's do that. So
All
the
right.
next, do we want to do a thermometer check actually?
We can do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting. Look at that! I
Getting
think. Oh
close.
my goodness!
Getting
What a
close.
jump! We've made some real progress here. Thank you
Yes.
so much to all of our donors who are helping us support the organization and the work that we do, and helping the organization with programming and all sorts of incredibly valuable benefits, and along the lines of what you just heard, the opportunity
Yeah.
for filmmakers to come together for the 48-hour project and have a blast based on what I heard.
I know. We saw at least two of those for the 48-hour project,
Yeah.
and you'll see all sorts of other examples in one of the upcoming ones. Let's get to the next two films, and we get to speak with those two filmmakers as well. The next one is Flash Burn by filmmaker Lisa Scott. It's when a blind woman regains her sight during a solar eclipse, the first thing she sees is her overzealous Great Dane in full zoomy mode, leaving her to navigate a stressful, eye-opening hunt through dark woods.
And just one more quick thing. These last two films are in our Seeing Things theme
Yes.
block. Let's see it.
You ready? We can play with the dogs. Yes, we are. We'll play with the dog. Okay, come on.
You two have a nice walk.
See you in an hour.
No, you won't.
No.
But I'll be here to pick you up. Like I've done 1,000 times before. A little to the left. Remember, don't look directly into the sun.
It'll make you go blind. Good boy. Okay, ready? Peanut. You ready? Go play. Peanut! Peanut, wait! Wait! Wait, Peanut! I can see!
Okay. You went that way.
Okay, thanks.
Some people shouldn't own dogs.
Okay. Oh, sorry, sir. I'm pretty sure you're a tree. I'm looking at a tree. Peanut! Peanut!
Leaves are falling all around me, and many trees you see are bare. You can tell the seasons changing. You can see gray skies and the deer.
Oh, excuse me, have you seen my dog? I know he's around here somewhere. Peanut! Peanut!
Oh, why did you run away like that? I need you. Oh, my Peanut. Oh, Peanut. Oh, sweetie. Oh, baby. You're here.
I thought
beautiful
the sun rose in your eyes.
You're the girl.
Moon and the stars.
You okay? Are you really okay?
It was the best day of my life, and it was the worst day of my life.
So, what happened?
No, Peanut ran away and...
What? Maybe it was the solar eclipse.
What?
I heard it makes animals go crazy because it turns night in the middle of the day.
What?
Too bad you didn't see it.
But I did. I did see. Hi, Allison. Welcome back.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, and I've been seeing you a fair amount, actually. I've
I
seen you in 3
know.
films this
Thanks so
afternoon.
much. Yes,
Amazing.
I love the 48s. And then to be in Lisa's movie was such a treasure.
That was a beautiful film.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Look forward to
Thanks.
hearing from her in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, she is a board member as well, and she wrote and directed that film. And I think she's doing more with it soon. But our next film is also by a board member who wrote and I believe directed it, and it's Alicia Cunningham. And the description of it, don't look at the sun. After a horrific encounter with a stranger, 2 friends, one blind and the other deaf, fight for their lives when confronting a criminal after a robbery gone wrong. And I just want to say very quickly that the people who are in it are members of the disability community. So there's deaf and blind actors. All right.
So Marguerite, how was your first hiking experience?
Oh, it was really great. Yeah, Deepa and I have been trying to get out here for a while, so I'm glad we finally made it work.
Yeah, Deepa says this is her first time on the trail and it's beautiful. Good choice.
I can only imagine. I mean, the sound of the trees, the birds, the water flowing. It's amazing. Way better than the traffic I'm used to hearing.
Deepa says she can only imagine.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's just,
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. How you doing?
I'm fine, are you?
Good, thanks for asking. What did he look like?
You know, he's tall with like a short cut hairstyle, black.
Was he black?
That's not why I stopped.
Wow. Okay.
Listen, I wasn't scared or anything. Come on, I feel like we've been making a good friendship. Besides, one of my friends is black.
What? Wow, okay. So he was black. Interesting. Well, I've learned that things aren't always what they seem.
All right, ladies, it is getting dark, so we better pick up the pace and get home. Okay, Deepa can still drop you off at home. It really wasn't because he was black. I'm just nervous in general.
Okay, Susan.
I left my keys inside. I'm gonna go get my extra key. It's out back, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna get some water too when we get inside.
Okay, I'll be right back. Oh! You almost gave me a heart attack.
I'm sorry, I'm just doing a meter reading.
You do readings this late?
Yeah, we're short-staffed, so I'm doing more than my normal shift.
Okay, well, don't let me stop you from doing your job. Just let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, sure. So here's the deal. I need you to stay calm, and we'll have no problems. Whatever money you have, give it to me, and I'll be on my way.
What?
Look, I don't want any trouble. Just give me whatever you have, and I'm gone, I swear.
I'm not giving you anything. I'm calling the police.
No, you're not. Give me that. Give. No. I said, give me the. Damn it! This wasn't the plan!
Who is that?
Don't you fucking move.
Look, we don't want any trouble, okay? I can't see and she can't hear, so we just want to go home. Look, I don't have any money anyway. See? Look, nothing.
Where's your purse? It's inside. What? Here. Go. Go.
Don't point that thing at me. I've done nothing to you.
Go. Bitch!
Where is he? Where is he?
Operator 666. What's the address of your emergency?
Yes. Hi, operator. Yes, we have a robber. He's trying to get into our house right now. He's here and he's intruding. Hello? Hello? Your phone died. Hold on. Dial 911.
Calling 911.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh.
My phone died. Your phone has no signal. Susan's downstairs bedroom has a better signal.
Okay. Okay. Yes, there's an intruder in the house. We need your help right now. Please send someone, please.
Okay, ma'am. What's your address?
It's a friend's house. I don't know the address.
Can you tell me the nearest cross street or nearby location?
I can't. I don't know.
Ma'am, that's the only way
What
to
should
stop the job here. Okay? I need a location quickly.
What's Susan's address?
Ma'am, are you there?
Not happening. You know, this all could have been avoided if you would have just given me what I asked for.
Deepa! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Ma'am, are you there? Please give me an address.
Yes, I'll get you the address. I'll get you the address.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Those were amazing films, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring in one of our incredible filmmakers for our Seeing Things block, Ms. Alicia Cunningham, and filmmaker, but also with board member.
Yep. I have some questions, Alicia.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Hi,
Yeah,
Alicia.
there you are. Hi, Lisa.
So good to see you.
Nice work.
Both of you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, incredible work. I'll start and I'll just say I have had the pleasure of seeing Senses a few times now, and every time I love it more. Just remarkable. I know that the story features two friends, one blind, one deaf, confronting danger together. Just what sort of drew you to that premise?
That I see. You know, a lot of stories just come to me. It's just like a thought, and it comes to me. And so what I do is I act on it. Actually have a folder in my Google Drive with different projects. I have maybe about 20 in there right now, and that was just something that I thought came as a great idea. And I just started writing it. I actually wrote the log line first, and then I write the script afterwards. And I thought, how scary would it be to be in a situation where someone was blind and somebody else was deaf, and they're friends, and now they have to depend on. They no longer have that mutual friend that can be the translator, and that they have to depend on each other's skills to survive. And I just went with it.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're grateful that you, had that vision, and you were able to bring it to the screen. Also, as I understand it, those two actors are indeed members of the disability community. Just curious, did they have acting experience before? And also, how did that impact your role as a director?
Yes, so both of them are, and actually, so what happened is after I wrote the film, I submitted it to also to the WIFV Shorts, and it was accepted into the WIFV Shorts, which I was really happy to be a part of. And one of the biggest things was finding actors that are differently abled was really, really hard. And it got to the point where the AD at that moment, the assistant director, was like, "Hey, you know what? If you can't find people who are really, differently able, then we have to maybe just find somebody to play the role." And I'm not up for it. One thing I'm really big on is authenticity, and I know it was really
Yes.
tough, but I had to do some search outside of my normal, search in areas, so outside of typical like Backstage or Facebook, and I actually started connecting with different disability organizations, and that's how I was
Mm.
able to connect with these two women. So Heba is an actress she's the one who's a deaf actress, and then Akila she is the blind actress, but she actually has a stamina and a stigma, sorry, and she can only see from a certain amount of feet without her contacts on, so it still is considered to be differently abled.
Yeah.
So she is what do you call it when you have a legally blind,
Uh,
and she's not an actress, but she learned to play the part for this particular role, and she's been
wow.
acting ever since then. But she's a singer.
And she's
Which is
done some acting since then.
Since
This,
then,
awesome.
all right.
yes,
Look at you
yeah,
creating new pathways for people. It's
Awesome.
fantastic. Yeah.
yes, yeah. It was nice to work with them.
So on your credits, I saw that you had several ASL interpreters. Can you talk about how directing um, with people who are differently abled is different than directing with people who are?
Yes. So I'm being honest. One of the biggest hurdles with working with the ASL interpreters were amazing. Some were who just on Zoom. Anytime I had to get practice, do the table reads with Heba, and then there was one main ASL interpreter that was on set. And the biggest concern with the ASL was one thing that I did not think about in advance was the funding. Like I made sure that I had the the money to be able to cover not only the ASL interpreters on the Zoom meetings for the table reads, but also the ASL interpreter on set because she also gets paid as crew. And but it was having them there. I would not have done it any other way, to be honest, because I wanted Heba to feel comfortable in that space, that she had somebody that can interpret for her and not just, pick up the phone and type something for her to read, but to have someone there that could be hands on so she can still be a part of the conversation was really important. Yeah.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah, incredible. I was curious also to know if, as part of your journey with this film and the experience you had with these incredible actors, if you foresee broadening the story, expanding it. Maybe I know that you are working on a feature where the topic is one you visited in short format before.
Right.
Any thoughts about maybe turning this into a feature? Such
Yes,
a
I did.
compelling story.
Yes, thank you. And actually, that was the initial thought that would have been my first feature. But so I put it back in the books. It's in my Google Drive, and I will revisit it to flush out the actual script and make this into a feature. But I need to get through past with this one first because it's taking up
Yes.
so much of my time.
One
Um,
feature at a time. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yes, right. One at a time. I thought I was maybe going to do work on my documentary that I had planned for as well, and I'm like, I need to just one at a time, and then I'll do the documentary afterwards, and then but as I'm doing the documentary, I'm going to be writing, fleshing out the feature for Senses.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yes. And now I think we are able to actually bring in the second incredible filmmaker and also board member from our Seeing Things block, Miss Lisa Scott. So, Lisa,
Welcome, Lisa.
hi. So good to
Hi.
see you.
You can hear me okay?
We
We
hear
can hear you.
you.
Good.
And you can hear us, so that's all good.
Yes.
Hey, Lisa, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
You did a great job.
Okay, thank you.
And I think you cast really well. So,
I guess you're saying that because you were my star.
it was such a pleasure to work with your team that I want to know where you got your people from. Have you worked with them before?
Yeah, the camera, the editing. I worked with them with Aaron Hernandez. I did a proof of concept pilot episode for a TV series that I want to do, and he worked it. He worked it, and it came out really nice. But now I have to redo it. That's a proof of concept, but I need to really get it done made. So, but it was great practice. Like this is doing shorts is always great practice for bigger projects. So,
How are you going to change it? What are you looking to?
what do you mean, the pilot?
No, this one. So Flashburn.
No, I'm not going to change it.
Oh, okay. So it's the same. But what I liked about working with your team is you guys had amazing communication and you knew what like you and Aaron knew what you were looking for. And Aaron was able to capture it and you were able to let me know exactly what it was you needed. And it was great. It was a really great experience.
Yeah, that's all in the planning. I mean, there's so much work. And it was only, 6 to 7 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, if this was a feature, I would, my butt would ache from being sat in my seat for so long trying to get through, every single moment. And yeah.
How long have you been working on this? When did you write it? Where did you get the idea?
It was kind of a spur of the moment idea. I had thought about it before, but I put it on the shelf. When we actually had a solar eclipse, and that field, that big corral, which is an abandoned horse corral, is in Rock Creek Park, and a lot of people went there, including me and Peanut Butter, to watch the solar eclipse. And I thought, oh, this would be great. We all had to get the special glasses and everything. I'm like, well, what happens if you don't have the glasses, And so I was just, I came up with something that an area that I knew that I didn't have to pay for. And I used what I had, a dog, a friend named Allison, uh, another board member that I've done projects with named Alan, and my DP that I've worked for before. And he's also a fantastic editor. He did a great job because I screwed up a little bit and he helped with his editing to fix, some of the errors. Which
Yeah.
I think happens a lot in the movies, and sometimes they do a great job, and sometimes they don't. But he did a fantastic job, so thanks to Aaron.
Yeah, and you talked about how this is the doing the shorts is a real learning experience. Was there anything that stood out in particular in that regard where you were like, "Wow, okay, now I'll never forget that," and the next time I do this, yeah.
Yeah, well, I learn a lot every project. You learn something. And we used a real skeleton crew. If you saw the credits, it was just the same few people over and over again. And 6 of us were WIFV members, by the way. But we use the same people to do double and triple duty, which is difficult when you do something on a shoestring budget and the shoestring was broken. So it was really tight. And I learned that you can accomplish a lot if you have a big crew, but they also need to know what they're doing, and so that's important. But what was great was that we had a lot of newcomers. The PAs were also the 2 actors at the picnic table, and the singer who was jogging is someone, a WEF member that I knew from years ago, and he just begged to do something with me, and I never had anything for him, so I just wrote him in, and it worked great. But utilizing, I just heard Alicia talking about how hard it was for her to get this and get that together and everything, and I just used what I had.
Yeah.
And I didn't I didn't go. I have to go out of my way to do anything because that way it didn't cost anything.
Yeah.
So it was great.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Alicia and Lisa. It's great to see your work.
Yes.
After all, we've been working on the board together, so
Yes.
Yeah.
We're happy to be
appreciate
here.
you being here today.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think
We're here.
we've done a thing today,
Looks
Allison.
like we made it. Did we?
And it was a lot of fun watching those films.
Absolutely.
Yes. But we want to get back to what we're like really, really, really here for.
Oh, right. We're not here just to celebrate our work that we do together. We're here to see how much money we've
Fun
raised.
that is, and important.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That looks to me like 75%. And you know
Yes.
what? We're not shutting off donations.
We're not,
You can
actually.
continue to donate. And if you feel more comfortable waiting and then going on to WIF's website and doing it there or saving this QR code, you can donate whenever you want. But thank you so very much.
Right. And if you were that person thinking, I want to be the one to take them over the top, and that's why I was holding out, now it's your time. Your time's now.
And I don't know who's been inspired to join. I hope some of you. There it is, Connie.
Hi, everyone. I want to say thank you to everyone who participated today. I want to thank our incredible hosts, Shonda, Allison,
And Tara. There she is.
and Sherry. I want to thank our 4 co-hosts today. You all did a fantastic job, and I know it's because of you that so many people were willing to be so generous, because of you all, as well as because of our amazing filmmakers. I do want to acknowledge 2 of our filmmakers that unfortunately, it's different, right? We're talking about making films, whether it's a documentary or a narrative film, which is my specialty. You get to cut, you get to say, let's do that scene again. When you're doing live streams, live television, you don't get to do that. So we did have 2 filmmakers who I promised to acknowledge at the end. They tried their best to be on screen. So I want to acknowledge Catherine Brewster, who's the filmmaker for 200 plus years, American Women Fight and Rise. And I want to acknowledge E. Samantha Chang, who was the filmmaker for Dora Fu Lee, A Life in Art. Your films were both fantastic, and we're so glad they were part of the telethon. You'll be able to watch them on the YouTube channel. So please make sure that you tune in to the YouTube channel, watch the films from all of these amazing filmmakers, as well as the runners up who didn't necessarily make it into the telethon, but their films will be featured because they're part of our amazing filmmaking community. So thank you to all of our filmmakers. Thank you to our co-hosts. And now I would like to introduce our wonderful board president, Jackie Greff. Jackie is a filmmaker as well. She's a DP and she is president of the board of directors. So please welcome Jackie Greff, who will take us home from the telethon. Hi, Jackie.
Hi. I don't see myself. Am I supposed to see myself? Thank you, Connie, for the introduction. And now I get to give all the credits one more time. You get to see everybody. I especially want to thank the volunteer team who put in tons of hours to make this thing run smoothly, and to the filmmakers of these really interesting films, and the people that were able to be interviewed for them. Most of these are going to be on the WIF YouTube channel, so if you want to see any of them again or show your friends, you can check with us there. Thanks for the WIF staff for supporting us, and for the board of directors who provided leadership and resource. And don't forget our upcoming WIF programs, especially our Women of Vision Awards, which are April 23rd. Tickets are now on sale for that. We're at the end of our telethon. Thank you for continuing to support WIF and our programs. We love you. Remember, there is no deadline for donations. We always need you. And a special thanks for our audience. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, and happy International Women's Day.
I joined WIFV initially for my fiscal sponsorship for my documentary film, my first film. It ended up being more than what I had expected it to be. What I like about WIFV is the community. WIFV is one of those communities that I can share that I might need assistance with something. It could be a simple question, and I'll put on the listserv. And I would say that the people are always quick to respond and support however they can. So it's a big community, it's a big support system. We're in this boat together, even if we're in different boats, but we're also trying to have a common goal here, is just to create a film. And I've been enjoying it.
We are women in film and video. We are the resource, the advocate, the support, and the connection. A community of media pros here to tell the truth, share the wealth, and spread the knowledge. Our members can and do meet all your film and video needs. Your one-stop shop from concept to completion, script to screen, narrative to documentary. We are an organization for all genders, genres, and experience levels, dedicated to the advancement of women in film and video through professional development and networking events. We are the nurturers, the writers, the producers, the editors, and the directors, the multitaskers, the taskmasters, the gaffers, the loggers, the dubbers, the bloggers, the know-it-all, the chief of staff, the belle of the ball. We are women in film and video.
Sandra, you're on.